You're all part of the family. You're part of a wrestling family. This year we lost 3 members of our family. Coach John Trudgeon from Dover, Coach Bob Ford from Randolph, and most recently, as was cited, Jared Platt. Jared passed away last month out of cancer at the age of 27. He was a former Arch County wrestler. He wrestled for Randolph High School. Jared was a world-class person, wrestler, with accomplishments that included him All-American, being a high school All-American, multiple-time national champion, gold medalist at the 2000 Pan American Junior Championship. Jared, many great accomplishments as a wrestler and coach. His greatest accomplishment, however, was being a loving husband to his wife Candace and a devoted father to his girls Haley and Gary. Let us sit, bow our heads, and from our hearts, a moment of silence and reflection, these 3 members of our family. May they rest in peace.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Wrestle Lean and Mean Optimal Health Program, comprehensive nutrition program for athletes with easy-to-follow meal plans. Burn fat and retain muscle. Medically sound and NJSA approved. What does your weight management program look like? Wrestle Mean and Lean. Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic and freestyle, just like finalists Dean and Luke Drugak and Pat Glory. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle, now the only home in New Jersey for Zach Ray. DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with our clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. And
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group, Denville, Newton, Summit, Randolph, and East Brunswick. It is covered by the Salerno Dwayne warranty. www.salernodwayne.com.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mount Olive High School, the 31st annual Morris County Wrestling Championships, live here. Donald J. Brower, Stephen Baig bringing you the stream for the 4th straight year, and I'll tell you what, this is going to be a great tournament today. Del Barton's already clinched and broken the record, but they have some really, really quality wrestlers in the finals. And, you know, one of those guys is AJ. Did you talk a little bit about him making it? Lebonsky, a freshman, one of those guys who makes it here to the tournament.
AJ Lonsky at 145?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a great tournament. He beat our kid, Chris Schlegel, who's a top quality wrestler, and then went on and beat Mike Rumez, Craig Rumez, his little brother, who's a solid wrestler, to go to the finals, and then hopefully you'll have a great final against Dominic Fano from Montville.
And another team that showed up, obviously Del Barton took the title. Roxbury well represented in the finals. Montville well represented in the finals. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be a great tournament. And you know what, let's get right to it.
Yep, and also before we do get to it, I'd like to thank Mount Olive for the great job that they did today. I'd really like to thank the Mount Olive Booster Club because they put out a great spread for the coaches. They keep us well fed, and they run an awesome tournament here. I'd like to thank Dave Fellini and Linda Best as well, because they're an integral part of this tournament being run.
Not only that, WrestleMania Lean.
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group.
We also have DeZeo Law and Pinnacle Athletic Training. Now let's get to the action.
Gentlemen, line up on the sides. We're going to introduce you with the Lehigh introduction. Come out and shake hands. That side over there. That side up. Lower fraction over there. Lower fraction over there. And 138 from Del Barton. Down, Neely, come on, take it. Marshall, Jason Parisi. At 145, A.J. Lutsky from the Barton. From Montville, Dominic Gano. At 152 for Roxbury, Tommy Miller. From Montville, at 160 from Roxbury, Craig Brody, from the Barton, Luke Anthony. At 170 from Hanover Park, Anthony Oliveri. From the Barton, Paul Preston. At 182 from Barstow, Luke Drugan. From the Barton, L.J. Castellano. At 195 for Norristow, Dean Drugak. For Pequannock, Patrick Dowling. At 220 from Roxbury, Todd Eckert. From Miami, Jimmy Colabella. At 285 from Montville, Parker Fox. From Jefferson, Avery Cerula. And 106 from Montville, Ronald Rumsby. From Hanover Park, Dominic DiFrancesconio. And 113 from Del Barton, Patrick Flory. From Booty, Dan Cordero. And 120 from West Mars, Shane Nutzer. From Parsippany, Kevin Jones. And 126 from Del Barton, Ty Anderson. From Roxbury, Troy Stanley. And 132 from Bonneville, Garrett O'Shea. From Del Barton, Dick Barrow. This time, would you please rise for our national anthem? would like the 138 place winners, 3rd through 6th, to come down here and table the chairs are there on the side. 3rd through 6th. Wrestling. 138 from Delbon Bell Feely from Marshall Station Torrisi. to work your way down. We need you here in the chairs. 138 medalists, 3 through 6. Wrestling at 145 for Joe Barton, AJ Lunch. For Montville, Dominic Daniel. State. Score at the end of 2 periods, 2-1. Barksdale. We're going to take a pause here and give the medals out at 1:38. Sixth place, Joe D'Addario of Boston. Fifth place, Matthew Caravat of Victory Park. Fourth place, Dave Lockney of West Forest. Third place, Michael Despario of General. Second place, Jason Parisi of Orlando. County champ, Cal Ely of Del Mar. I would like the 145-pound medalist, 363rd, to report to the chair. Listing out 152, for Rockford, Tommy Miller, for Rockford, medalist 145. Work your way up here. Third group, actually first group, 6. in the first period, 0-0. Roxbury takes down. 1
So there we go. Marucci escaped there, in on a shot, tried to dump out. Not successful with it, but he leads in the third period 1-0 after riding out Tommy Miller for the entire second period. He did a really nice job with that, running that arm lever and tight waist. So now they're in a little bit of a tie-in. Honestly, Marucci can't afford to just hang on. He has to be offensive. If he gets hit with one more stall, it's going to tie the match. And here we go. We're going to end up in OT. So he's kind of stuck in there. He should probably try a little bit of a drag out. He's on the edge of the mat. And they go out of bounds. So now we got 57 seconds left on the clock. Here's the restart. And Miller in on 2 shots. Oof, almost came out with the dump on that second.
Everything that's in there?
Yes. Okay. It's better for me to...
Here we go. They're in a little bit of a scramble position on the mat. Marucci's got the front head set. He's got to get a lot of pressure on that, and he's got to work for the takedown. And there's the go behind, and that's 2. That is solid. And he might pick up some backs here. We got a 1 count. We got no count.
Miller saved what little hope he had left there by getting off his back, because if there were points there, especially with about 20 seconds left, there was no way he's recovered from that.
No, he definitely saved himself from giving up 2 back points, but it's late in the period, and we're looking at short time with only 10 seconds left to go. And it looks like Marucci is going to gain his first Morris County title here, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Chucky. You deserve it. That's it.
Oh, wait a second.
Got the 160 coming up next. He's going to have Craig Rooms from Roxbury wrestling Luke Anselmi from Del Barton. We'll put up the tail of the tape for 160 here. Luke Anselmi, senior from Del Barton. 16-7 against Craig Rooms, a senior from Roxbury, 19-0. Made the finals last year.
And won the finals last year. Luke was placed 4th in the region, made it down to Atlantic City last year. Very quality wrestler. Had a little bit of a scare against Connor McClellan last night from Mendham High School. Edged out the win, 13-12 in exciting fashion. Had the fight off his back twice. And then came in this morning, and you could see he was on fire. He's probably a little upset from that match. And he went and pinned Alfonso Pinto in 5 minutes and 48 seconds, or teched him rather, 18-3 in 5 minutes and 48 seconds, and then won a close 5-4 match against a tough Justin Contreras from Morristown.
Actually, Contreras was in control of that match till about, I'd say, 20 seconds left, and he got the takedown and held him down, and wound up going down from down 1 to up 1, and held on, and that, that's what he talks about. You look at some of these kids, and they may not be the most stylistic or something like that, but it's the heart, and they show the heart when it comes to that, holding that. Anybody can win and get a couple-point lead when you're down to that 1 point going, heading towards the end of the match.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times, honestly, when people are faced with that kind of adversity, they fold. You're seeing a lot of these kids, especially the Del Barton kids. I give them credit. They're not folding in those scenarios. They have that never say die attitude, and that's why they've locked up their, what is it, 9th championship here at the MCT. Even before the final score started.
8th, I think. I think it's the 8th.
It's the 8th. So they locked it up.
History making. They, there were a couple teams you thought might have a chance, but the one thing you'll say about Del Barton is, all right, you understand the ensembles, you understand the Agassiz, you understand the fouls. When you see the kids like
Blonsky.
Yeah, Blonsky, last year, Majukowski, stuff like that, those are the ones that are getting those extra points. People see the winners and don't realize those other kids who advance to the semis and are the way to get them the points.
Right, and got on the point, and they always have somebody that comes out of it, like the Blonsky kid. Oh, he's wrestling in the finals. He wasn't even in the mix in the beginning of the year. Nobody thought about it.
And he makes the final here.
So they have quality kids all the time. So right now, Craig Rowans has a solid armbar locked. He's hopping side to side, looking to try to run it. The match, he's up 2-0, and we're about to come to the close of the first period.
Cut return, this is set. So you could use this.
And that's the end of the first period. And it's Craig Rowans' his choice. He defers to Luke Anselmi. Luke chooses down. Smart move. It's a 2-0 bout.
First move.
To the opening. I have the commercial, and then I also have 3 pictures.
And nice arm chop. He's got Luke flat right now, and he's working out to the side. Reason being, if you're not working out to the side and you're just riding parallel, you're going to get hit with a stall. So he's able to slide the arm bar in there. As long as Luke doesn't get his other arm taken in on an inside wrist or an underhook, he should be okay in that position. This would be a nice ride for Craig. So there we go. He's riding it out to the side. A lot of people ride it out there and look to chin back in that position. Green actually just got hit with a stall. Surprising because he's running an armbar and he's out to the side. I mean, what else can the kid do? I find that a little bit of an interesting call there, but obviously it's a judgmental call, and that's up to the official. Now he's got the inside wrist, so this is going to, whoop, but he lost the armbar. Having the inside wrist while running an armbar does make the move a lot more effective and much easier to turn your opponent.
Off the base, forward. Butt high, dig in, go. There you go. Keep going, one to the other. Keep going.
I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a tough team too. Roxbury always seems to represent well here. Even when it's down years, they always seem to come together at the MCT, and they're never far out of the chase.
No, we were talking about that earlier today, a bunch of us. Actually, I was telling you last night, I thought Roxbury might have been the one team, them or Montville, considering Montville just had a close match, 33-30. But I thought either team, if Del Barton was going to lose, it would be to either of those two teams. So coming into the final, Del Barton's score was 226 points to Montville's 178. And in close third was Roxbury at 161.5. So you can see it's a tight tournament. Considering that Del Barton's already won the tournament, now it's just the battle of the public schools to see who comes out on top.
And we don't want to get too much into everything. We'll get somebody in to discuss some of the off-season stuff regarding public, non-public, stuff like that. And we'll let them take the heat for it. We're not going to get involved in that.
That's all you got to do. Keep working.
But that's the one thing especially being so close to near Del Barton geographically. A lot of people aren't too happy that they won their 8th in a row. Whereas Jefferson was the homegrown kids, a lot of people are like, it's a little different, but you still break a record. It doesn't matter. A lot of people might like the fact that Barry Bonds hit more home runs, but he did.
He did, and records are meant to be broken.
Exactly.
And you don't know down the line. Well, there might be. Doesn't mean Del Barton's going to win it every year for the next 100 years.
Exactly. I mean, you want to talk about some good teams coming up. Talk about a little bit about Mount Olive. They got some Hams coming up. You got a young little group coming up. You got, everybody's got some be able to pick, and that's the one thing. If somebody's looking at a team that they can say as a team can beat Del Barton, that might be the issue. you have to look at somebody where it's maybe you pick off somebody here and there, somebody else, and it helps another team get there.
Right, and well, that's the whole thing, too. Every time, if people were knocking off the Del Barton kids earlier in the tournament, it wouldn't even be a conversation. But they're not. The Del Barton kids, they fight and they place. So, yeah, you got to give them credit on that front. There we go. Just another takedown, making the score 5-0. Roxbury over Del Barton in this matchup. But as we talk about years past, Del Barton just didn't clearly run away with the tournament for 8 straight years here.
Yeah.
Last year, Hanover Park challenged them. The year before, Hanover Park. And then the year before that, we had that Pequannock, Del Barton, Morris Knowles, everybody in the mix. And we didn't know who was going to win the entire tournament until the finals were complete. So it's another stall on the bottom, man, giving a point. So that it expands the lead to 6-0 in the third period with 40 seconds left to go.
What we're going to do, too, is we're going to get some of the people who I'll let you tell me. You think we should go grab some of the winners, or should we just start with this? Should we go get some of the past winners, or should we just go with the one that comes off now?
We should probably just start with the ones that are coming off now, and if we have time, we can catch up with the other ones.
Definitely. I think that's what we should do.
Wow. No backs on that. We had a 1 swipe, but nothing in a 1 swipe. So good movement on bottom from Luke. Yeah, he's got to elevate that bottom line. Yeah, he's not going to turn him if he doesn't elevate that. And Craig's, I think, ranked #1 in the state, so he's vying for a state championship this year. And winning his second MCT in a row makes a statement and shows that he's the kind of caliber wrestler that can do it. Congratulations.
The 152 pound. 6th place, Shane Conley of Jefferson. 5th place, Marco Taylor of Montreal. 4th place, Corey Shane of Forest Hill. 3rd place, Troy Yamarino of Mendham.
Attaboy, Troy.
2nd place, Bobby Miller of Oxford.
So I gave a little attaboy Troy because he's one of our wrestlers. He did a great job today. Placed 3rd in the tournament, but wrestled a great tournament. His losses were close. They were tough losses, but Troy was coming down to 152 from 160. I give him a lot of credit to just go at it and lose that weight to try to make himself more competitive.
We're going to try to get Chucky over here in a few minutes.
Wrestling now, 170. The Hanover Park, Ethan Oliveri, the Barton, Cole Christian.
We're about to start the 170-pound final. It's Anthony Oliveri versus Cole Cashpan from Del Barton. Cole came into the tournament at 14-4, whereas Oliveri came in at 19-2. Oliveri is the 1 seed, and Cashpan fulfilling his seed as the 2 seed, making the finals. Tight by Oliveri, beating Illick in only a 2-1 battle, and Cashpan only beating Castiglia from Butler 2-1, getting into the finals. So you're looking at 2 wrestlers that are very, very similar in their style and caliber of wrestling. So I think we're going to have a very good final here. And we got Roy Dragons, the lead official in this match, being backed up by Mark Sherman, 2 longtime quality officials. Roy is our rules interpreter for the entire state of New Jersey, and Mark Sherman is a major assigner up here in North Jersey. So you can look, we have probably one of the best officiating crews that we could have at the county tournament. Some of the best officials in the state are sitting here today, or officiating here today. And we're just approaching 1 minute into the first period. It's still a 0-0 bout. As I said, it looks like it's going to be a close one. And they're getting a little physical in the hand fighting, pushing each other off, going from an open position, and now tying up again. And underhooked by Oliveri. There's a lot of hand fighting here, but nobody's really getting in deep as we only have 30 seconds left in the first period. Again, a lot of these bouts, because they're so tight, we got a little bit of a stalemate call in neutral just to restart it because nobody's doing anything. But a lot of these bouts in the finals you're going to see very tight, obviously, because it's the best meeting the best.
We're going to get joined by our first winner here, Chucky Marucci from Montville. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chuck. Is it working? You can hear it? All right, good. All right, I guess I'm interviewing you. Something else is going on. So I know you missed your entire sophomore season with shoulder injury.
Junior season.
Or junior season, I apologize. But you were 4th in the region as a sophomore.
Yeah.
How does it feel now, your senior year, after missing an entire year? How does it feel to be back out there?
It feels great. I put in a lot of hard work for my junior season, and it didn't work out the way that we wanted it to. But it's in the past now. It's behind me, and I'm focused 100% on this season. I don't even think about it anymore.
So being that you were out all of last season, you came into the tournament as the 2nd seed. What were your expectations prior to the MCTs?
For the tournament?
Yep.
My expectations were to win it. I know where I stand as a wrestler, and I know that I have it in me to win. I know I can go out there and I have a chance to beat anybody in the entire state. So I came out here, I gave 100%, and I won the tournament.
Yep.
Now, talk a little bit about you guys we like to call you the silent assassins last year. You kind of snuck up, did something that's never been done. You guys win the district without an individual champion. I know this offseason that success was good, but you guys want to build on it. What have you guys been doing so you can get some hardware at the school?
Well, as a team, we've been going morning practices, afternoon practices, putting in a solid 3.5, 4 hours a day just as a team alone. And then our guys are going by themselves to the gym after practices, to other practices. And we've been focused, laser vision, 100% on winning team titles, individual titles, and doing the best that we can.
Congratulations. Enjoy this, and, like we said, we'll see you upcoming in districts and regions and hopefully down in Atlantic City.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did an excellent job today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That was Chucky Marucci from Montville, your winner at 145.
Fano? You want Fano?
So now we're in the second period. It's a 1-0 bout with about 20 seconds left in the second. And it looks like Anthony Fano is going to be joining us in a moment.
We'll get Anthony Fano. I think we're getting Val Mealy. We're pretty much getting everybody we've missed. Is there one we're missing?
Nah, we're just playing a little bit of the catch-up game. So Val won the first
one.
And then we got Fano.
Fano will need second.
In second. And then and we just got Chucky. So.
Okay, what we'll do? We got Craig Rooms. Let's get him.
All right, and then we'll have Craig Rooms.
We'll actually have Craig Rooms after this match, but we got Dominic Fano jumping in.
And I apologize if I'm saying Greg's name wrong.
No, hey,
well, rooms are rumors.
It's always a que sera, sera, Brower, Brower, however you want. But we got another champion here, Montville, Dominic Fano. And then you guys, I know we were just talking with Chucky about how you guys didn't win any championships at districts and you won the title. You guys trying to make up for that a little bit this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we have a really good shot of winning it again. We're really looking really good this season. Kids are stepping it up, the freshmen especially.
Now, you guys are kind of, and we've talked about this, and, I've talked to other people about it. You guys snuck up on a lot of people last year, and your coach even told me at the beginning of this year there were a lot of kids he thought if you got healthy at the right weight, you'd make a run. You seem to be kind of peaking and doing that this year, and you've kind of, we want to talk about not only your representation here, you take the number 2 team in the state to 3 points, a couple days ago. Talk a little bit about that and matching up with them, just kind of what you guys are doing, getting ready for the upcoming sectionals.
Yep, exactly. Staying healthy is the most important part of wrestling. If you don't stay healthy, obviously you can't wrestle. But I feel like this year kids are staying healthy, eating the right stuff. That's why we wrestled so well against Del Barton. I mean, one match away, and one of them was 1 point. So yeah, our team's really stepping up this year, and we're looking forward to things.
Now, what do you do as one of the upperclassmen trying to get the team ready? Because I know obviously you guys are out there, you're hitting the mat. You got some young kids that you kind of want to get groomed, and then you have them in big spots because you guys are wrestling big matches. What do you do to kind of get them so they don't get freaked out under the lights when they're here, at a tournament like this?
Well, in practice, we really push them hard. We always let them know that, you're a freshman. You always got to push yourself. And, yeah, like what you said about the lights, that we always tell them to, how do I say it? To, I can't figure out the word for it, but
just kind of expect it, like
yeah.
Like I know, in Coach Baig, and we've talked other stuff. A lot of kids when they get there, they're not used to it, and the coaches. I know when I was wrestling, they told me, just imagine you're at your home gym, like you don't notice anything else. You're just practicing yourself. Don't worry about the people watching you.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the freshmen, when they're wrestling out there, they get a little nervous, but we always tell them, they always watch us and see how we do. We always get them warmed up, not worrying about the match, just focus on your match, because a lot of the times we see kids just watching the match, not even warming up, and that really has an effect on how they wrestle out there. Nah, I can't.
Nope.
Anything?
Yeah, my question for you is, your brother was an excellent wrestler.
Yeah, he was my cousin, actually.
Is it your cousin?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
I thought it was your brother. All right, well, I was going to ask, what kind of influence did that have on you?
Yeah, so my freshman year I went to Bergen Catholic, so we didn't get to wrestle on the same team. But then when I transferred, he introduced me to the whole team, the coaches, and he really helped me out. And I knew Aaron was a phenomenal wrestler. I've been wrestling him through Tri-County, too. Yeah, he's awesome. Made it to AC. Doesn't work.
I know. No, I think you're okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I guess we're still on. We can hear us both. But,
yeah.
So why did you go to Bergen Catholic your freshman year, and what made you come back to Montville?
So, yeah, my freshman year I was looked at the private schools because I wanted to go private school, and Bergen Catholic said to me because they need a 106. And I didn't know if I wanted to be 106 because I didn't want to cut the weight, but they were the #1 team in the state, so I wanted to try my best to get down. But then when I ended up going, I wasn't able to get down to the weight. Then, I wasn't able to wrestle, felt miserable there, so I decided to come back to Montville. And my sophomore year was just an adjustment season. I didn't wrestle well. I cut too much weight to that season, didn't even make out of districts. But this year I feel like I'm into the system and ready to go.
Yeah, because that's one noticeable thing is you definitely put on size from last year to this year. So, and it paid off for you.
Yeah.
Anthony Oliveri just won the final, close in a 1-0 match. No.
The one thing I'll say before we let you go, are you going to go into chiropractic work like your family?
I'm not sure about that. I don't think so.
No problem. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's no problem. You have a good one. Once again, Dominic Fano, your champion at 135. Or 138. That'd help if I knew the weights. Have a good one. Craig Rumez in here. Craig Rumez, grab a headset. welcome, Craig. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Let's talk a little bit about that match. I mean, top seed, you kind of had the bullseye on you. You go out there, and perform what you need to do. Just talk a little bit about what's going through your head for this tournament.
A lot of nerves coming back here. It's a great tournament every year, and it's hard to fight the nerves wrestling all these great wrestlers here. And I really just went out on the mat tonight and worked my hardest, worked to be aggressive, get the first takedown, get the first point, and just work from there.
And talk a little bit about, what you guys have been doing this year, getting everything ready to go, for the year, because you guys have been a quality Roxbury team, beating a quality Hanover Park team, just what you guys have been doing in the room.
Yeah, every day is a competition in that room. I got great partners to work with me. They can help me learn, and I can help them learn, and it's great. It's a great atmosphere with the coaches. Coaches work not only with me, but all my teammates, and it's a great feeling to know that coaches are there for us and work well with us.
Now, finally, what do you guys do? You guys have won 2 sectional titles. What do you guys do to get ready for it? How long do you celebrate this before you get out there getting ready for that 3rd one?
Right up until the first practice. Then it's over. Then we start worrying about our new team, what it pans out to be, and work from there. Every day in the room continues to be a competition.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Congratulations, the champion, Craig Rumes. How do you probably pronounce your last name? We were right. Rumes?
Rumes.
Okay, Rumes. Okay, perfect.
Question. Next year, any plans to wrestle in college, or where would you like to go?
I'm not sure if I'm going to wrestle in college, but I'm looking to play football or baseball. And, so you're a
3-sport varsity.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I'm not really sure yet, and I'm continue searching. If wrestling thing pops up, that'd be great. The more options, the better. So.
You're definitely a quality wrestler. You placed in the state last year. You ranked very high in the state this year. So good luck and maybe a state championship.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you again in district regions and possibly Atlantic City.
I hope so.
Have a good one.
You too.
Oh, you put in here with the mic. It's a lot easier for me. Give the green to that end. Blue. This is red.
No.
Don, you should hear yourself.
I hear myself. I don't hear Baig.
If you're red,
Yeah, I'm ready.
go ahead, talk.
Talking.
Talk again.
Good. Talking.
I still don't hear him in mine.
So, a little complicated this year with some technical difficulties, but we'll get everything going hopefully before the last match. And now we're in the 182-pound bout. We didn't talk about that yet, but we got making the finals as the 1 seed, and then LJ Castellano at 13-6.
Now I got you.
Going into the finals also as well. Right now, Drugak up 3-1, but looks like he just got another takedown, up 5-0. So we're in the second period with a minute and 26 seconds left to go.
As you see, we have a wonderful head-to-head placards. This 182 final. Luke Drugak versus LJ Castellano, as we said.
And both Drugak brothers, the twins, excellent wrestlers. Their brother Wade had a great tournament actually here too. Had a nice upset earlier on. And they do a lot for the Morris Knowles team. They're both seniors. I wonder where they're going to be going.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad you mentioned their younger brother. The tournament he had, he may not have won, but he opened up some eyes. And he's only 15 years old. He's already bigger than his 2 twin brothers. And he's solid, and you just kind of see he's growing into being a better wrestler.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to watch Wade grow up. I remember last year he was wrestling at a JV tournament, and both brothers were there poking a little bit of fun at him. You know, he wasn't as good as they were yet, and I use the word yet because he works hard. He has a great coach and great head coach in Joe Barchetto, who also, give him a little bit of a plug, runs a club called Invictus out of Flanders. We send a lot of our guys there, and our kids love him, and so I'm sure coaching at Knowles, those kids got to love him as well.
And you know, talking about him coming back to his alma mater, taking over this year, somebody, you know, kind of help with those guys getting to that next level and doing a great job this year.
Yeah, I mean, Joe was a long-time assistant coach over at Morris Knowles with Larry Rizzo. Larry really mentored him. And then when the Morris Hills job opened up, Joe went over there. And then now that the job opened at Knowles, he went back to his alma mater.
It created I don't know if you noticed a couple of the retirements and such created a nice little domino effect. I think we figured it out. It was 11 new head coaches in the county this year.
Yeah, this was probably the biggest change in head coaches that I can remember for as long as I've been doing it.
And you want to talk about?
I don't want to say how long because then it's old. So.
And we also have to mention, you want to talk about head coaching changes. It just came out in the last week that Coach Smith's going to be stepping down in Pequannock.
As you'll see next match, I think he has a little surprise coming up for us.
Okay, perfect.
We'll wait till that happens. But yeah, Coach Smith, he's been a long-time friend of mine. Sad to see him. You know, people hate when I bring it up, but we have Pompton Lakes representing in Morris County, even though we're a Passaic County town. There's 5 Pompton Lakes coaches actually in the building today.
Now, when you said you hate to see him, that's what you meant, right? You didn't mean to hate to see him go.
I hate to see him go. I'm sorry. Might have said hate to see it. At times that does happen.
Certain people, I'm sure, would be like, wait a minute.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna miss him. Him and I, we do fishing trips together in the summertime and stuff like that, and we'll continue it even though he's retired. But
and funny thing about Coach Smith, a funny story. For those of you who don't know, I professionally wrestle on the side, and any time I talk to Coach Smith from my early season previews, he always tells me, like I've never heard it before, the story of when he wrestled at the high school. And every year he tells me, and he's like, what he did to get the kids to sell tickets and such, and it's just so fun to like have him listen to that.
And the executioner came in.
Yes.
That one. He's one of the best storytellers out of any of the coaches. So if you ever want to hear a good story or a great joke, ask Coach Smith.
And he's one of those guys. If you don't know, like he can kind of, I guess when you first meet him, you kind of have to like understand him. But you've been doing this so long, you kind of know him, and you realize who he is. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think
there's no gray area.
If you really don't know him, I think some people kind of think he comes off as, I don't know, arrogant, maybe a little nasty stuff like that. He's really not like that. He's a fun guy. Like I said, tells lots of stories, lots of jokes. So.
And then, you know, as we're talking here, Morris Knowles just got a tweet from Jan Rosenberg out in Iowa at Coe College, out there, you know, representing as well, doing great things out there. So
he's actually wrestling with Ryan Harrington.
Yeah, Ryan Harrington.
Ryan Harrington placed. He wrestled for Mendham High School. He was a 2-time state champ, and now he's out there. Yeah, Coe College. He placed 4th in the nation last year, and he's currently, before the season, he was ranked number 1 in the nation, and now he went down to number 2, but I believe he's back up to number 1 in the nation. Ryan is. He's only a junior, so he's got 2 more years to clinch down this national championship.
And that's one of those teams you kind of, you know, you don't think about, but they're doing great things out there. You know, they have some talent. They
have a lot of talent. As a matter of fact, you know Freddie Jackson. He ended up he was a running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Is that Michael Jackson's younger brother? Is
not even close.
Okay, I was making sure. I'm not sure.
But no, Freddie Jackson was a starting running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's over at Seattle. He filled in when Rolls got hurt. He's a Coe College graduate.
Oh, wow.
So,
as we see Luke Drugak taking the title here. 182, Drew Drugak win the title. And don't blink, fans, because you're going to see somebody who looks just like him. It's his brother coming out next, Dean. Before that, we're going to thank one of our sponsors.
I know what Don's going to say. We're going to thank one of our sponsors, and that's Mike Salerno. We should definitely be pumping him a lot. Here, he did a great job. He really helped out with Doug Black and Mendham TV.
Before we do Salerno, we want to do Wrestle Mean and Lean. Wrestle Mean and Lean Optimum Health Program. Comprehensive nutrition for athletes with easy-to-follow meal plans. Burn fat, retain muscle. Medically sound. NGSA approved. What does your weight management program look like? Wrestle mean and lean.
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group, Denville, Newton, Summit, Randolph, and East Brunswick. It is covered by the Salerno Dwayne warranty. www.salernodwayne.com.
Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic and freestyle, just like finalists Dean and Luke Drugak and Pat Glory. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle, now the only home in New Jersey for Zach Ray. DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with our clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. And
report to the sun. Wrestling now, 195. Dean Drugak from West Coast, Pat Daly Corporate Club.
Here we go into the next final at 195 pounds. Like Don said, you don't need to blink your eyes. It's the twin Drugak. He's out here. He went to the finals. He's 17-0. Placed in Atlantic City last year, as well as his brother, wrestling Pat Daly of Pequannock, who was a region champ last year.
We're going to have
and was top 12 in the States.
We want to talk about winners. We're going to have a winner joining us. We're going to have Anthony Oliveri from Hanover Park, a winner.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about your tournament. I know coming in top seed with that bullseye, just kind of what you did to get ready and keep going through.
I just worked hard like I always do. I didn't kind of treat this tournament any different than any other one. I just wanted to stay focused and just do what I've been doing.
Now, a couple close matches. Just talk a little bit, especially in the final, just kind of what you were doing out there, just trying to get everything set up.
Two great opponents. I mean, they're great wrestlers. This is the county tournaments with some of the best wrestling in the state.
Wow, sorry, Anthony. We just had a huge pin. Dean Drugak just pinned Pat Daly, who's an outstanding wrestler himself.
In 49 seconds, and a shocker, I have to say.
Yeah, in Morris County final. And we're going to see this again up at the region, so it's not over. They're definitely going to see each other again.
Not take anything away. Andy, back to you. Just talk, like you said, two tough opponents. Somebody you actually in the semis wrestled recently, a couple days ago, if I remember correctly, at home. Miguel, just talk about them. What kind of was going through your head?
I just knew I had to wrestle. I was going to come into a tough match. I wasn't taking anyone lightly. Any opponent can beat anyone on any given day. So I just wanted to wrestle him tough like I did last time. I knew he was going to give me a good match. He was going to give me his all, and I knew I had to do the exact same thing if I wanted to come out with a victory again.
It looks tough. Being that you're a senior, I always ask this question. What's your plans for next year going to college?
I'm going to Hofstra University, actually, to wrestle, and I'm very excited about that. It should be a great opportunity.
So that's awesome. You're going to wrestle for Danny Valamon, huh?
Yeah, Danny Valamon, another great Morris County wrestler. Like I said, some of the best ever.
Yeah, inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I remember watching him, obviously, through his career and beyond, so...
Yeah,
you have a great coach that you're going to be wrestling for.
Yeah, I can't wait to go wrestle there. I can't wait to go work out with the guys. They have a solid team, great workout partners. Dan Valmont, great coach, great wrestler. Like Dennis Papadopoulos, great guy, great coach. I mean, they're doing good things over there, so I can't wait to get over there and work hard and work out with them.
That's going to be awesome. We'll definitely be following you through your college career as well.
Congratulations. Good luck in the upcoming groups, sections, and districts, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you again.
Yep, hopefully. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So as they're putting the...
We're gonna do one more sponsor. We want to talk about Salerno. Let's do Salerno.
Yeah, definitely got to plug that.
Fourth place, Nitro Police of Parsippany, the Coalition Championship. Third place,
Also, just as a point of interest, that Pat Daly match went by pretty quick. Coach Smith, that was his last final that he's going to coach as he's retiring this year. Coach Smith has 440 wins. He's the most winningest coach in Morris County history. He's the only coach in Pequannock to ever coach somebody to win a match at the state tournament, and he has coached 12. That's right, 12 state place winners.
Wow. So let's put it this way. We got a final here that's anybody's ball game. Todd Eckert, the senior from Roxbury, 19-0, but kind of unheralded.
Nah, he was the fourth seed in the tournament.
But you expect, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect him. He wasn't somebody I was talking about.
Even his win over Lecca was pretty impressive. He beat him 5-1. Lecca's a tough wrestler. He's a sophomore from Montville. He's part of that Montville crew. And then I think the real surprise was Pin and Focus.
Yes.
Focus goes, beats the 1 seed. You think he's going to go to the final. Jake's a very good wrestler. And then Eckert comes in and just pins him.
And let's not talk. You're going to hear a lot of cheering because the home school guy, Danny Colabella from Mount Olive, 3rd seed, makes it in. But we are joined by one of the champion in the Jugak family. We're joined by one of the champions.
And the second one, but...
Well, I'm trying to figure it out because you may know. I don't know. They tell me there's a scar. I don't know the difference. I see them all. That's why I have to say D. Congratulations. Talk a little bit about your win coming out here. Quality, match out. Just kind of what you were doing out there.
Yeah, I just went into it like every other match. I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay calm, and I gotta capitalize on all the moves I make. And what I've been really stressing in practice is working on the technique and setting up shot to shot to shot. Because against the good guys, you're never going to get it on the first shot. So it's usually the second, third, fourth shot they got to take.
Now, talk a little bit about, I know I've spoken with your father. He bribes me with tacos. Just kidding. That's a little thing. You guys have kind of come on and
takedown. That's unexpected. Not unexpected, but
you guys, 2 champion brothers. Talk a little bit about your younger brother. Who kind of did, and I saw you guys cheering for him the whole time and how he's kind of come along. Just what he's done, and just him growing, and just you guys as a unit here.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him, where he's been coming from, and, we need him to work a little harder in the room and a little harder in the weight room, but other than that, he's really coming along. Like this weekend, I was very proud of him. He was down 3-0, and he came back and got the nice pin, and which was big, and the whole family was all excited about it. And he's just been... he's trying to follow in our footsteps, which I'm really proud of. And, sometimes he doesn't have the best days, and we just got to get on, like, come on, it's all right. You're going to have those days. You just got to keep going.
Yeah, so question for you. Last year, we were up at the Roxbury JV tournament, and Wade was up there. You guys were kind of messing with him a little bit. Yep. Your younger brother. So I was going to ask, what's the difference from him being a JV wrestler last year to now getting into the varsity lineup and being successful? I mean, that pin, I thought, was huge, and coming back.
2-0 here. Not to interrupt. 2-0 end to 1 here. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, he's it's all about his attitude. His attitude's definitely changing, and which he's not where he needs to be, but he's working on it, and that's the most important thing. Like I said, he needs to work a little harder in the wrestling room and in the weight room. But other than that, I'm very proud of him, and he's working hard.
Yeah, and I think you hit on a good point with wrestling is your mindset. The sport's about 80% mental, and if you don't have the right mindset, you're never going to accomplish what you need to accomplish on
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great point that you brought up.
And finally, you talk about hard work. I know you guys, use Pinnacle.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about Mike Kennedy. I know your father was telling me how he'll open the gym for you early at 6, late, that hard work. Just talk about what Mike Kennedy's done for you, in training.
Yeah, he has a great program. He has a bunch of great wrestlers out here wrestling, 5,
I think, if I remember correctly, in the finals?
I think more than that.
Well,
more.
He sent me a picture. I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Yeah. Well, the boys from Montville, they work out with us, and we have these late practices after a match, and we work hard, and then we get a little bite to eat afterwards, which is nice. We bond and everything, and it's just the facility's beautiful down there, and you never leave without a hard workout.
They have theme workouts, so Mike or their father will call me and say, hey, it's White Castle night, and they'll get some crave queso, or they'll get taco. I don't live right away.
Yeah.
But the problem is I can't sneak away when they go there because then my wife's going to think I'm out somewhere else if I'm leaving the house at 10:30 at night. I can't be doing that. But once again, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you guys because, you know, especially, and I'm sure Coach Baig can talk about it, there's certain kids who, when they have success, they let it go to their heads. And you guys are the most humble brothers we've seen. You know, it's what you do. You don't let your success get to your head. And it's just been a pleasure watching you, you know, wrestle. And, you know, good luck in districts, regions, and hopefully see you down in states.
Thank you.
And it's awesome. One thing I want to make, I don't remember, was it you or your brother who wrestled shoot 'em up?
I did.
That was that? All right, I wasn't sure. That was one of the best matches at the regions I've seen in years.
Thank you.
Last year. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep it exciting for us, all right?
Yep, I will.
That was Luke Drugak. Yeah, we had it right, didn't we? Yeah, we had Luke.
Yeah, we had Luke. I was thinking Dean, so I said by
I got confused. You get me confused too.
no. Well, because Dean was just on there, so.
Yeah, it's always the way when they're back-to-back. Dean's going to be coming in next.
So this was an exciting period.
Eckert up 6-2.
He's up 6-2. We got reversed by Colabella, then reversed back, expanding the lead. Colabella got here in fine fashion, making some upsets himself. Danny's a tough wrestler. As long as his head's in the game, he can beat anybody at any time, and I think that's why we see him in the finals today. So Danny's starting on bottom. Again, 6-2 at the start of the third period. He's got a lot of work to do, but if he gets a reversal, it really only puts him down by 2 points, and if you get a set of backs, he's going to be okay. In his semifinal match coming in overtime, he actually locked up a Merkel and put Hamzi to his back, which got him the win in that match. Pretty exciting and pretty awesome. So here we go. You see Eckert trying to lock up a cradle, and the stalemate call by Gary Kessel's made. Head official in this match is Gary Kessel, backed up by Joe Ben. Gary also not only is doing the MCT finals, he does a lot of Division I matches. And when you watch the national finals, you'll actually see Gary out there on the mat. He usually gets the call to do them as well.
I'll tell you what, I think we're caught up. I think the only one we're missing was Val Mary. I'll tell you what, you know, it's always nice when you start half an hour early because your tech guy shows up an hour late, but that's okay. I didn't say anything, though. I'm okay.
Oh, the cradle is locked up by Eckert. He's got work to do, but he could definitely... No, he lost it. So now Colabella to his feet. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're at about the 40-second mark. Colabella's down by 3. He's got to do something. He's got to do something fast. Now they're just hand fighting and pummeling. Shoots him out of bounds. Let's get a fresh start back in the middle. So really in a scenario like this, Danny's going to have to go after it. And he's going to have to try to put Eckert to his back for the win. Russell on the mat's not going to help him, but Colabella, there he is trying to throw.
Got to do something here, but it just might be too much time left.
But not enough time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got about 10 seconds left in the match. They're locked up in a front head position, which is smart by Eckert. And he's going to walk away with the win here.
I'll tell you what, big win by Eckert.
It's a really nice win. And that's the kind of win that gives a kid confidence. You're looking at a 4th seed winning this entire tournament, senior, kind of a leader in that sense of his team. And I think that gives somebody gives an upperweight a lot of confidence, especially when we're going into the state sections after this week.
And we want to talk a little bit real quick. We were talking about the Drugaks. Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 911 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and championship wrestlers in scholastics, freestyle, and Greco, including a few finalists today, like Dean and Luke Drugak. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you contact them at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle. And not only is Pinnacle involved with that, they now will have on Sundays Zach Ray in the building. So all you heavyweights who are looking for some stuff and want to be like some of these guys you see out there getting the medals, Pinnacle Athletic, pinnacleathletic.com.
And Mike Kennedy does an excellent job. Ryan Harrington went to Mike Kennedy, who was a 2-time state place winner for us. Also, both the Button brothers went there. Both made it to Atlantic City. Sam Button placing 4th in the state and now wrestling at Princeton. So Mike's always done an excellent job. Trained both our Walker boys, who are very successful wrestlers as well.
Yeah, Mike's done a great job.
I personally like to thank him for everything he's done for our athletes as well.
Mike's done an amazing job.
So, question for you. See if you can get this one. Who is the only NCAA Division I national champion to coach a Morris County team?
I think I know this.
All right, give it to me.
Stephen Baig.
No, I'm a Passaic County guy. Come on.
You're from Morris County.
John Fritz of Roxbury in 1978. Little fun facts that hopefully we'll be bringing out to you today.
We're going to get started with the big boys here real quick. Parker Fox, Jr. from Montfield, 21-1, versus a surprise, Avery Sharuda, a senior from Jefferson. However, you know, we do want to say that Jake Buzikowski had to withdraw due to a back injury, so he did get a bye to the finals, but he still wrestled a great tournament.
Hey, and don't take anything away from Sharuda. He's a very good wrestler.
I don't want, you know.
Him and I got a little thing going back and forth. We had a quad going up at our place. He walks over to me and he says, "Hey, anybody ever call you Charlie Day?" I'm looking at him going, I don't even know who Charlie Day is. I guess he's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Some of these young kids,
But him, so we got a running thing because he looks like Jack Black. So it's going back and forth. But ironically, today, he came up, said the same thing. And the Whippany Park coach, Devin Engelberger, came up to me and goes, "I thought the same thing. You didn't know I took a picture of you this morning and then got a picture of Charlie Day and was texting it to my friends." So
well, now,
a little funny thing going here. But anyway, back to Dean.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of running, you may need to run to get your heart rate up a little bit. You barely around on that mat, Brother Sweat. Talk about that. I mean, that was one of the matches we thought would be back and forth, and you kind of just took care of everything right away.
And Daly's a quality wrestler, so...
Yeah, Daly's one of those ones you thought it'd be a great matchup, but you kind of went out there and manhandled. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I prepare myself just like any other match, just staying focused. And I mean, I went out there knowing that, like, I had to, like, take charge, and I had to make sure that, like, I own the mat. And just like any other match, I went out there just like, if it was the first match, the last match, I mean, I knew, like, if I got him on my back, he was staying on his back. And when I had that, like, weird, like, little, like, single where his leg was on my hip, and then I was, like, trying to work out the body, and then his arm was there, and I was trying to grab, like, the claw or, like, try to, like, pull it down, and then he ended up just going to his back, and then I just made sure I stuck him, and he wasn't going to get up, and I was going to make sure that I just finished with the pin.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick pin over a quality opponent, so you should really be proud of yourself.
Yeah, and, you know, you win, your brother wins. Your younger brother had a great show in the tournament. We were just talking to your brother about that. You know, one of the things I would say I chalk up to success is, you know, we've discussed this, is Mike Kennedy. Mm-hmm. You know, talk about what he did to get you guys ready for this.
I mean, he definitely, even sometimes after matches when we have forfeits, we call him up, we tell him, hey, we're coming down, and then sometimes he gets us a little food, but then, like, he works on the things that you don't want to even imagine using on the mat, like little muscles or little, like back movements or every little thing you can think of he works on, and then it just prepares us for the mat, and then, I mean, just does a great job, and a lot of it goes towards him.
Now, you guys last year get down to Atlantic City, finishing in top 12. What are you doing, and what have you and your brother been doing this offseason in your final campaign to make that advance and get on that podium and walk away with a medal?
I mean, we've been in the wrestling room with Coach Burkelli. He's been doing a great job. We've been trying to, like, do, like, not change our practice, but, like, work on little things instead of, like, going out there physical as a guy, like, work on the technique. And during our, like, when we wrestle live with each other, like, last year and a couple years ago, it was always, like, beating everyone up, like, trying to, like, draw blood and stuff. But then this year, we're trying more of, like in the match, stay, like, technical. Like, don't get out of position. Make sure, like, you, like, do everything. And I think that's definitely key. Yeah, it's definitely been helping us. Because, like, last year, like, we just went out there, we tried to, like, muscle everyone. Now this year, like, now that we're working on the technique during live against each other, we're still muscling while doing the perfect technique, which is definitely helping out.
Now,
is he your workout partner in the room, your brother?
Yeah, yes. And then Coach Burketto and other coaches jump in, and then...
That's the problem when you try to go film them, because you're trying... I always like to do, like, film and focus on one, and they're both there, so it's like they just stand there. It's like a clone, and you spin around. Oh, which one is it? You don't know. The one thing I was like, and maybe you could say it from here, is that helped you this year, especially with Daly, because he was expecting you to be a clubbing fighter like you used to be, and you kind of took advantage of it where he didn't, like you almost a Rocky III scenario where he thought you were Clubber Lang coming. It's an old reference. I don't think he knows the reference.
No, yeah, not really.
he got beat, and then he came and changed his training style, and then wound up coming back. Is that training style? Is that something that helped you this year? I think with him.
I definitely think so because I know that like last year.
Younger references. That's what I got to do.
You know Creed a little bit better.
Last year, like how I came not placing where I wanted to, definitely set me back, and I sat down, went through my head what I needed to change. Definitely, what happened out there on the mat definitely was what I was trying to focus on.
Next year, you and your brother, I would imagine, are going to wrestle in college.
Yep, Old Dominion.
And both of you at Old Dominion.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered the question. I was going to say it's pretty hard. You guys grew up together, wrestled together, so you're going to go to Old Dominion together.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So.
What are you going to major in? Have you guys decided yet, or just going to?
I definitely want to go into the criminal justice and the FBI, so I was thinking maybe something more towards the criminology, but I know they really look for other options, so I was thinking computer engineering, but that's a stretch right now.
No problem. Listen, you don't got to decide on a major today. You can go home and enjoy yourself. You can call me at 10:30 at night for tacos. I can't leave. My wife, my wonderful wife who's listening, has been texting me the whole time. Amanda, if I leave the house at 10:30 on Saturday night, I'm going to eat tacos. And it's not what you think. I'm going to eat hot, everything they bring the food over there. But listen, give your parents the best. Your father's a great guy. Loves the sport. You guys have been doing it great. I told your brother, absolute pleasure watching you guys wrestle. You guys are so not egotistical at all. You enjoy it, and it's just been a pleasure to cover you guys. And congratulations. Good luck this year.
Yeah, congratulations. Awesome. Good luck in the districts, and I'll see you up at Regis.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so in the heavyweight bout, it's 1-0 in the third period. Pretty exciting. We've seen some shots, looks like a little bit of risky moves by Sharuda, but he's gotten out of it every time it looked like Fox was going to pounce on him and pin him. That's Don's wife sending out a little text.
Yeah, my next text she's going to send me is WGW.
I can't even think of it. So at least that's confirmation that we're definitely live.
Yes.
But so I believe, and I could be wrong because we were interviewing at that point, but I believe Parker Fox took bottom in the second, escaped for 1-0, and then it seems that Sharuda ended up taking neutral in the third. So she said that. Oh, got it. Sorry. Jeez. That's for later. Come on now. So anyway, something's got to give now.
Gotta go here.
Yeah. Sharuda's giving it everything he's got. I give him a lot of credit. He's trying to come in there with a bear hug, but Parker Fox is a pretty big boy, and I think he's getting his arms around him is going to be.
He's one of those. He's kind of one of those little. But he had to go for it.
He had no choice. So you give him a lot of credit. He's giving up backs there.
He gave up. Once he went down, he realized it was over. He said, "The hell with it." Went to a 5:59.
But you got to give credit. You got to give credit to that. I mean, at least he went after it. You leave it out on the mat, and you don't sit there and say, woulda, shoulda, coulda. So Parker Fox winning his first MCT, following in the footsteps of his brother. So yeah, a little bit of a gap. You might have looked at it and said, it's Fox in the heavyweight. Well, it's not his brother. It's Parker, and a new Fox, but.
And his brother was no slouch either, and.
No, he won an MCT.
Yeah, and his brother was solid. As a matter of fact, both Fox brothers, and for fans who follow the site, my all-star match I do, every year, the brothers have been, been a part of it and well deserved as well. Some of your wrestlers too have been there. Eric Friedman,
a couple times there. Aaron Flickroff wrestled it. As you can see, the crowd's cheering for Danny Colabello.
Hometown advantage.
So going back to, got a couple questions here. We'll fill her in time. Who is the only wrestler to win the MCWT OW 3 times? Somebody was the most outstanding wrestler 3 times at this point.
Was it Mark Gray.
Mark Gray answered James Laval of Hanover Park.
Oh, wow. That's
from
another good choice.
96 to 98.
That's another good choice. I mean, it was honestly down to somebody who did something like that. And Laval winning 3 and, medal in the 4th. That's not a shocker.
Yep, and obviously James Laval, coach of Hanover Park. And we've got, and I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Dom
DeFrancesca Antonio.
So no irony there, but just a nice segue into this match. Dom was the 3rd seed. He's a freshman from Hanover Park. He's 16-4. Won 54 seconds, pinned his opponent. In the next match, he pinned Godfrey, a tough wrestler who placed 3rd in this county, from Jefferson in 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then Mauricio from Butler in 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then a tough wrestler in Godfrey got to the finals 5-2.
Quick takedown here, too. 2-0, he's up.
And before the tournament, when I looked at this bracket, Rumsby's extremely tough. He's our 1 seed here today. Wrestling the tournament's down at 6, but wrestling a lot of the duels at 13. So he made the cut down. He's tough, but when I looked at it, I felt that that Dom had a really good shot at
myself too. He's one of those guys, anchoring 106 for Hanover Park, had a great showing at the Beast, done a great job. I think, and obviously we've seen that with other brackets, the way past performances is done, it hurts some of the super freshmen, but they wind up succeeding in the long run, and they get that criteria for sophomore and on. And I think we might see that here with Dom. Dom's, done a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. He's young again. It's exciting to have somebody who's a freshman here in the finals. Rumsby is a junior, making it to, I believe, his first MCT finals.
Yes, 16-5 this year.
Yeah, he's 16.
You may have said that already.
But, no, he's tough. And our wrestler, we have a nice wrestler in Dom DeGena. He plays 4th here in the county. He lost to Rumsby 5-0. So, he got decision by him. And then had a tough match against Mason Godfrey from Jefferson. But he's a junior. He's a quality opponent. And hard work in the offseason will hopefully allow our wrestler to be here in the finals.
And that's the one thing, especially like a lot of these young guys, the experience, it's, and maybe Cliff could tell us, it's rare to have a 4-time champion. You get the guys sometimes, very rare. So, I mean, some of these young guys, they get the experience. And how often is it, except when you get to these younger weights, where you see? We're going to get Todd Eckert in here. The champ at 220.
Hey, that's awesome, Todd. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We get Todd's headset on. Hey, congratulations, Todd. Talk a little bit about your performance out there, and just kind of what you did to get the win.
It was a hard-fought match.
It's 2-1 here. Dom Francesca Antonio. It's going to take me 2 periods to say that name at end of 1.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought match. It was just whoever was most technical, And then I was quicker. I thought I was more endured. And then, it was just a good match.
Now, he had you want to say the home gym advantage a little bit. Talk about kind of, putting that aside and getting out there. I saw you back and forth, tough matches. Kind of what you saw in him and kind of what he gave you as a style that you could take advantage of.
Danny was a good wrestler. It was just the one thing, I was quicker than him. And then I thought I was more conditioned as well. So,
coming in as the 4th seed into obviously one of the toughest tournaments you're going to be in this year. I think the Morris County tournament is equivalent to a region and probably a little bit better than a region.
Definitely.
What were your expectations coming in on Friday night?
My expectations was get to the finals and then take first place.
All right, good, and you fulfilled your goal. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good
guys.
luck. Good luck in the upcoming sectionals. Good luck on going for a 3rd straight, and good luck in the finals.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Congratulations.
Todd Eckert from Roxbury, your 220 champion.
And now as we rip through it back, so we kind of went through the heavier weights to start this show, went middle to heavier weights, and now we're ripping back around, so you kind of see a little bit, I don't want to say the slowness of a heavyweight match, because those two actually did go at it pretty good.
They did, they battled.
But now we're looking at the 106s, and you're going to see a lot more scrambling, a lot more high-action matches. So we got about about 1 minute left in the second period. It's a 2-1 bout. Dom, and I'm just going to leave it at Dom, is up 2-1. All right, so a quick stand-up by Rumsby. Catches that cutback leg. Oh, he stepped over. I don't think he's going to get any backs on that, but that was a nice. Oh, he did. That's 2 backs on that. Pretty quick, but that was a nice catch by Dom as he just did a quick step over on the single leg to put Rumsby to his back.
And I don't want to put any undue pressure on him, but if we remember correctly, looking back 4 years ago, there was an unheralded 106 for Hanover Park who made the finals, and saying me he had a little success.
You're talking about Anthony Cefalo, could you?
I don't want to put the name out there, just saying.
Anthony gave us some of the best finals that we've seen over the course of his career. So I was just talking about that earlier. He had
three-time finalist in states. We would have made it a 4th year, but ridiculous draw in regions. Sophomore year.
Well, how about his match 2 years ago when he wrestled Farrow in the finals?
Ridiculous.
Which is going to be our featured bout here tonight. Because
Farrow, not Cefalo. We didn't get him back from high school, college. We didn't re-enlist him.
It would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
But Garrett O'Shea is no slouch compared to Anthony Cefalo either.
2 medal winners.
Yep, 2 medal winners going at it. It's our featured bout. And it's going to be interesting because Garrett's definitely going for a state championship this year.
Definitely.
He's put in the work. He's put in the effort. He transferred out of Knowles to Butler, but we'll talk more about that later.
And honestly, I think that transfer from Butler revitalized a little bit of that program, because you remember Butler for a while kind of was getting pushed around, and you want to give credit to that, but you also want to give credit to a guy like Chris Wells, who kind of set the groundwork the last few years before heading back to Parsippany in one of the coaching changes, becoming the head man for Coach Dasty. When Coach Piotrowski retired, it opened up a spot. You can't fault it, but he put such a good groundwork in there. It's only reaping his reward.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Garrett's dad, who used to be the head coach of Butler High School, and he did a great job with the program, is now back as an assistant. And one of the Pompton guys that I grew up with across the street, Jason Luciani, took over as the head coach. He was actually the former girls head basketball coach of the year.
Oh, wow.
His son is in 8th grade. He's a very good wrestler. And after Wells left, he didn't want to see the program start to tank. So he stepped in. He does have an idea. His father was my youth program head coach. It's not that he doesn't have an idea. Basketball is just more of his sport.
But I'll tell you what, they've done a great job.
He's done an excellent job. And you know what? If Connolly didn't transfer out to Jefferson, they'd probably be one of the top Group 1 schools in their section.
It would be solid, because you're talking about not only that, they have Dan Castiglia up top.
Yeah, Dan's wrestling. Awesome.
I'm going to horribly mispronounce his name.
The Weibels. So
both of them. So you got them.
You got Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, it
top to bottom, they have a really nice lineup, and they're in a tough section. I mean, Kittatinny's number 1. Cresco, that's where I used to coach for a few years out in Bergen County. They're ranked 2nd in the section. Then Pompton Lakes and Butler. So I think you're going to have a nice little battle in that section.
And once you get there, you match up. It doesn't matter who you go. You can do what you need to do, and that's the one thing with them. It's kind of that whole division, that independence division this year, I think has really stepped up. Not only with that, Kinnelon seemed to be a little bit better this year. I mean, it's good group.
Eric DeCola's done a great job.
Dom DeFrancesco Antonio, your champion at 106.
So yeah, we were actually talking about that. If you look at the independent division, a lot of them actually are falling middle of the pack this year at the MCT, which typically doesn't happen.
Well, we want to thank another sponsor, DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages, physical, emotional, monetary, or to their property, will find a legal representative who will ensure their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the value that drives the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with their clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. We're going to head here as we make the turn to 113. We're going to have a state finalist last year, Pat Glory, sophomore from Del Barton, 23-4. He's going to wrestle a man, Dan Fungaro, a sophomore from Boonton, 23-2. And as a matter of fact, is my father-in-law's favorite student, who is a teacher at Boonton. So Dan Fungaro versus Pat Glory. And we're going to head to that as we see the Parker Fox accepting his medal. We got Parker Fox putting his headphones on. Congratulations on the win. Talk a little bit about it. I know you've had some success just kind of coming out there and just what you did to win the title today.
Definitely a hard match. I mean, he really knew what he was doing in neutral, and I really just had to make sure I didn't get caught by any of it. I think he'll definitely get better. He just needs to learn to finish his moves.
Now, you being the number 1 seed, you look real quick at the brackets. You see, you expected to wrestle Jake. Jake had to withdraw. He's being a number 6 seed. Was there any? Did you take him a little lightly, thinking because of the seeds, or have you wrestled him before, or was it just he matches up really well with you?
He definitely matches up well with me from a neutral standpoint. Looking at him, he told me a little bit about himself, how he wasn't here last year, so I didn't really know what I was up against. I definitely knew I was going to have a good matchup, though.
Now, you guys, we've talked about it before with the previous 2 champions from Montville. You guys snuck on last year, kind of took the district title by surprise. And your coach, he said if we got the guys in the right weight, now you guys are winning titles. There's no longer the sneaking in the back door. Talk a little bit about what this means going forward, not only for sectionals, but districts as well.
I think it'll be huge, really make a great name for Montville out there, being known to say, oh, they're probably going to win that title, and then going on to win that title.
How does it feel? I don't know if this question was asked. I just jumped in a second ago. But your brother won an MCT. How does it feel? Like, did you feel any type of pressure coming into this tournament this year, knowing that your brother was the Morris County champ, knowing that you just beat the former Morris County champ? Was there any pressure to win this year?
I definitely wanted to win it because also seeing Chucky Marucci and Dominic Fanoing, it really put a lot of pressure on me to also take the
and that's pretty cool. I wonder, I mean, you probably don't know this, but is this the first time Montville's had 3 Morris County champs?
Yeah, previous to us winning, there were only 10 of us from Montville that had won this. And us having won 3 this year, it's really huge for us.
Yeah, it was. I thought, and I know it's kind of out of reach now, but thought you guys might have came close to top-ending Del Barton tonight. So
yeah, we were really hoping for it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You'll probably be the public school champ, so congratulations on that.
Yeah, I think you guys will do very well up in the upcoming sections, and as long as they get the PowerPoints right down in Trenton, I didn't say that, but as long as they can get everything set up, and I think you guys will do good there and in District 2, and congratulations, good luck, and hopefully I'll get to see you at my All-Star tournament this year again as well.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Now that you just mentioned that, is there a problem with the PowerPoint system going on right now?
That's they're in the process as, Parker Fox, thank you again. There has been reports, and it's on open mic, and
because we're ranked 5th on open mic right now.
Apparently, from what I read in the story, I didn't get a chance to read it because it came out late last night. There was a set of points released a week ago, and there was another set of points released that was only to certain people that apparently got passed on to Mike Wildman and some other people that changed where people were ranked.
Is Mike Wildman does open mic?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently, not knowing 100% specifics, he had certain teams that were in it, like a Warren Hills and a North Huntington, that are now not in it due to the new points. So
yeah, because we would have jumped Warren Hills based on our win over West Morris this past week.
So there was an issue with that, and obviously there's been a problem with the PowerPoints because Mike Wildman once again broke it last year that they were using the wrong chart to figure everything out.
Well, what happened last year was they were using this is. I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but there are 8 region presidents. Those 8 sat down, didn't ask the coaches or anything, and decided that we should use a new PowerPoint system for last year. Once that started coming out and it was analyzed, people were like, this isn't right. Ooh, just to go back to this match real quick, Patrick Glory looks like he's getting some back points, and he's going to be looking for the pin with 50 seconds left in the match. So going back to this, people looked at it. They used the old system, not the new one. Then they put the new one out. It changed everybody. Everybody wanted to go back to the old system. And I imagine is that what's going on again this year? People don't like the new system. So
there was a tabulation issue. Like I said, I don't want to totally speak on it because I don't know the exact specifications for Mike's story. I kind of perused it last night late when I got home. But it seems like there was an issue yet again.
Well, there's an unfortunate to it, too, because the final calculation comes out tomorrow, and the seating meeting is on Monday.
Yeah. So they're going to need to make a decision somehow, and I think there's going to be a problem.
Well, I think there's going to be a major problem. And last year, what they should have done is they should have
Fungaro, we don't want to interrupt, fights off his back there. He was stuck. He wound up fighting off and, winds up down 8-0, but at least he's not pinned. He's still got a shot to try to do something. But Glory, we're talking about a state medal finalist, you know.
Right. Well, last year, I thought what they should have done is the state should have opened up to 8 teams because of you can't go one way the next way back and forth. You're trying to prepare your team to get into the sectional tournament. So for us on Thursday, on Wednesday when we wrestled West Morris, they were 1/10 of a point behind us, and they were in 7th or in 8th place. We were in 7th, and we were 0.25 points away from. So we're a quarter of a point away from getting into the section over Warren Hills. So that win, we had a nice win. We thought that would catapult us in, depending on what happened with those top 6 teams. You prepare your team that way, you pump your team up that way, and then you're going to have teams that aren't going to make it due to that.
Yes.
To me, that's just plain out unfair. The state needs to get this right before the season.
There needs to be something done in regards to that.
Well, you have the entire summer to look at this, right? And before you get into the season, you got to analyze it and make sure it's done right. This is 2 years in a row.
I almost have a feeling, and this is my personal opinion, and it doesn't matter if people like it or not. I have a feeling that the NJSA is so worried about football and trying to pass the law they did with separate everything.
Yeah, but that was the same thing was for wrestling.
I think they're so focused. They want to get to football. They want to do that. To me, I think it's especially this year with that whole passing separation, which I personally think and I've seen both point of views. My personal thing is you want to wrestle the best, and it would help a little bit, but I digress. But they got to do something. They can't have it. They can't have anything going on.
Well, I think it's unfair. You can't be giving everybody PowerPoints for the whole entire season.
Exactly.
You're preparing your team for this, and the next thing you know, you change it, and teams are knocked out.
The only thing you have to worry about, too, in the future is, you have that. I don't want to have to send my wife down to Trenton and slap some people around because, she beats me up pretty good. I don't need her doing it to anybody down there. That wasn't a cry for help. Or maybe it was.
No, it's just a cry for divorce.
That's help.
How long have you been married?
I'm dead. A year and a couple months. I'm dead.
I'm just waiting for the text messages to pop up on your phone now.
Juan stuck here. Glory. 5:49. Pat Glory is your champion at 113.
And we kind of expected that. Pat Glory was a champion, was a state champ at 106 last year.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Wrestle Lean and Mean Optimal Health Program. Comprehensive nutrition program for athletes with easy-to-follow meal plans. Burn fat and retain muscle. Medically sound and NJSA approved. What does your weight management program look like? Wrestle Mean and Lean. Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic and freestyle, just like finalists Dean and Luke Drugak and Pat Glory. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact them at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle, now the only home in New Jersey for Zach Ray. DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with our clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. And
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group, Denville, Newton, Summit, Randolph, and East Brunswick. It is covered by the Salerno Dwayne warranty. www.salernodwayne.com.
We're going to have the 120 bout. 120 bout, Shane Metzler.
Your wife text messages just came in. You might want to read them.
I may have to talk to Shane Metzler, a junior from West Morris, a wrestler you know pretty well, West Morris, Shane Metzler. And Kevin Jones, a senior from Parsippany, 19-2. Talk a little bit about Shane. I know Shane's been doing a lot of off-season stuff.
Shane's an excellent wrestler. He plays 4th in the state for West Morris last year at 106. He's up to 120 this year. I think that's a solid weight. As a freshman, Shane was really, really light for 106, and then, pardon me, had to cut down to that weight last year. Obviously did an excellent job. Anybody would be happy having somebody who plays 4th in the state. And I think
I just want to say I love my wife and don't steal half my stuff. I love you.
I knew that was coming.
I love my wife.
I don't think you can say that enough now.
Yes, I can't.
But yeah, I mean, not to take anything away from Kevin Jones. Kevin Jones went to Atlantic City as well last year, placed in the region, and I think was pretty close to placing in the state as well. But Shane is, I think, has the edge in this match.
Well, that's the one thing too. You want to talk about, looking at Pat Gorey from last year or from the last weight. He was in the same weight class as Shane Metzler. Morris County finished 3 of the top 4 at 106 last year.
That's right. And that glory match that he had last year was that match took place against Angelo.
Yeah.
That was in the quarterfinal.
Yes.
The winner of the quarterfinal match had to go against Metzler in the semifinals. The insanity of that whole thing. We've tried to correct it by adding some things into wrestlers' criteria. I'm on that committee. So after the county tournament, after the season, we all got together, our committee, and tried to come up with some ways that would help freshmen out so that they get a better seed and we wouldn't have those things happen in the future.
Because like you said, a lot of people saw that weight and were like, wait a minute, the 3,
it can't
on
be.
paper, the 3 best were meeting each other before,
way before the finals.
Way before, and you always want your best matchups in the final. And these are 2 tough kids. You were talking about Kevin Jones. It was actually funny up until he pinned in the, I want to say, semis. He pinned in the semis to get to the finals.
Yeah, he pinned Hanlon from Mount Olive.
But it was funny. He was only up, and he was only up 1-0. And it was actually funny because as a number 2 seed, he won his first match 1-0.
Our kid.
And then he won the second one 1-0. And then I was like, I wanted to see what is the least amount of points you could win and be seeded and win a title. And he was on the pace.
That would have been interesting. Our kid had a great match against him this morning. Really pushed the edge. Was in on a whole bunch of outside singles. Just Kevin did a great job with defending him, and he couldn't finish it. And he did a great job riding out Thomas in the second, and then he escaped and won 1-0 in the third. So,
and I'll tell you what, we talk about Metzler, how dangerous he is going down to the Super 32s, going and doing a bunch of off-season tournaments. He's picking his spot here because he knows Jones will capitalize on any type of error. He respects Jones' ability that much. That's why you don't see him out there trying, going. I don't want to say the term balls to the wall, but I guess I just did. Against. So, just throwing it all out there.
I think it is a little more entertaining this year than normal.
A little. But they wind up, he respects him more. He's not kind of just throwing anything out there and seeing if he can get something.
No, and that's why it's 0-0 going into the second. Jones has the advantage actually here, and he's taking the bottom position. Obviously, first to score gives you the advantage if you go to the UTV, which is the ultimate tiebreaker. And Jones has a quick escape in about 2 seconds, literally, to go up 1-0. So, okay. So right now we're going to get Dom so we can interview him from Hanover Park, freshman, first-time champion. But we look at Shane. Shane's in on a single leg. But again, I thought Kevin did an excellent job of defending it against our tough wrestler, Thomas Mazzucci. He's defending it extremely well against Shane Metzler. Shane can't finish that shot. He's got it so far out that Kevin can't even get a whizzer in on that position. But again, he's on 1 foot and he's defending it extremely well. And they're out of bounds. That's no takedown. They're going to stay in neutral. Again, Kevin Jones defending a single leg like no other.
We're going to have a champion join us, the 106 champion. Now, as he puts his headphones on, I'm going to say his name, and it'll take me a period and a half.
And I'll just say
Dom D. Francesca Antonio. Is that correct?
That's it. It's the first time someone got it right today.
Oh, perfect. I've been practicing. I'm local. I should know. Actually, it's funny. Most people, when I call, because my name's Don, they say, did you say Dom? I go, no. You could always tell when you're in an Italian town when they think it's Dom instead of Don. Talk a little bit about your performance today. Number 3 seed coming out and winning this title.
Coming out 3 seed, I didn't have many matches at 6, so I wasn't expecting a really high seed. But I knew I just had to come out and perform at my best as well as I can, because I know there's guys that have been at this weight for a while and have been used to it. My first few matches at this weight had to get used to it.
How did your success at the Beast of the East tournament translate into the success that you had here today at the Morris County tournament?
Beast of the East was a really tough tournament, and
it's one of the toughest you can go to.
Yeah. So, as that being my first high school tournament, it got me aware of how the competition is going to be, what I'm going to need to like.
And help with that transition from youth to high school wrestling.
Yep. Get used to like high school and what I got to do to get at that level of how guys compete at Beast and even counties here.
We'll talk a little bit about that because you had some success at the youth level. It almost seems like a 50-50. Either somebody has it and it translates really well, or it doesn't. You talk about what you did to translate, because you got a good group of guys, and your head coach, right about your size and had success. Just talk about that. What it meant and how you did that.
Going from youth to high school, the transition like
1-0 here. I'm assuming Metzler.
1-0 Kevin Jones. He chose down. He had the advantage.
All right, 1-0 Kevin Jones.
Yeah, and he defended a single leg. I was talking about that earlier. Extremely well again. Shane couldn't finish, and they went out of bounds. He just missed the takedown.
And Metzler took neutral here to start third, but I didn't mean to interrupt, Dom. I'm sorry.
No problem. Just practicing harder is the biggest transition. Like, you think of the mentality of youth, and then looking at the mentality of the high school guys in your room, like AO and all the guys in there, Lou, Nikki, and just seeing where their heads are at and where the youth heads are at is just a completely different thing. And where you got to be is where guys in your room like Nikki that want to be at the top of the podium, where you got to be. You got to be at the same level as them.
It's interesting. You're the second wrestler to bring this up today, but how much do you think the mentality of this sport plays a part in it, as opposed to the technique of the sport?
I think the mentality is the biggest part. Just even when I came out here for this match, I was really nervous. First high school match under the light, besides like HP in front of a lot more people than HP.
But
just way different.
Yeah, no, I like that you talk about it. I was saying that earlier, is this sport is like 80-85% mental.
Yeah.
And physically you can get yourself prepared, but mentally you've got to be able to make that push and know that your body can handle it. So
now, we're not giving anything away here, but Coach and I talked beforehand, even before this tournament started, and you were our pick. Because you kind of, we've seen you, we kind of thought you went well.
Even though I have my Domenico.
Let's put that there.
Yeah, so he was saying that.
Work out with him, he's a great partner.
Let's just put that out there. I don't want you to.
I was going to say, I don't want to down my guy.
He had said he could see you. I picked you, but he said
I
cleared it up for you. I think I put you. You're in as much trouble with your booster club as I am with my wife right now, so I think we're good. But we saw you coming out here, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Hold on one moment. It's 33 seconds left in the third period, and they're still in neutral. Again, Shane Metzler chose neutral for the third period, and he's struggling taking them down right now. Kevin's defending very well. So sorry, back to Dom.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck in the upcoming sectionals. You guys are the favorite. Other section go down.
Just got to finish through.
Go finish, and then good luck in the upcoming postseason.
Yep, thank you.
Congratulations.
Awesome job today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think this will be the last we're going to be talking to him at a Morris County tournament.
No.
Congratulations, Dom.
Wow, so back to this match. We got 20 seconds left to go. Kevin Jones is actually on the offensive.
Thank you, Dom. D. Francesca Antonio. I get a medal.
Now, you can say that as much as you want.
I'll get a cannoli at Sorrento's now.
And Shane's in on a single leg again. Can Kevin defend like he just did? He's got to get a whizzer in there, and he's struggling too. Oh, that's too late.
Jones is not happy.
No, and now he's got 7.7 seconds left in the match to get his rear end out. So that's the only way he's going to tie and go to overtime. As you saw Russ, just giving an exciting low five there. So, I mean, Shane really worked to get in that takedown for 2 periods. So he did a really nice job.
And I'll tell you what, give credit to Kevin Jones for putting up the fight he did and getting caught for something late.
Oh, it was awesome. So here it goes. He's there. Oh, Shane's just hanging and hanging. Wow, pretty exciting finish. So you're looking at 2 state caliber kids, obviously a state place winner versus somebody who's most likely going to be a state place winner down in Atlantic City this year.
I expect big things from these guys, especially, if they go the weights they want. They won't meet in regions or districts, but down in states, who knows?
So another exciting match in the Morris County Final, and I assume we're about to go plug.
Yeah, we're going to plug another business. we're going to go with Pinnacle Athletic Training. Located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focused on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic, freestyle, and Greco, including a few of today's finalists like the Drugat twins, Pat Glory, and others. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is also available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact them at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. And now the only place in New Jersey you can train with Zach Ray on Sundays. We're going to head here. We're going to head to a 126 match. Ty Gacy, the senior, 13-1 versus Troy Stanich, the senior from Roxbury, 19-1.
And just so you know, the Roxbury Register and the Observer Tribune are taking pictures from the Morris County tournament here today. And you can go online in a day or two and start to see the different pictures from the tournament.
We're going to get Pat Glory here. We got Pat Glory, the champion.
And before we start to talk to Pat, our next match is against Ty Agacy versus
Troy Stanich.
Troy was the 3rd seed. He had a little bit of an upset over Lou Ramo, who was our 2nd seed. Ramo actually pinned Stanich earlier in the year in a spladle, so that was a nice avenge loss for him at that point.
We have one Del Barton wrestler on the mat. We got one here with us. Pat Glory, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Talk a little bit about this. This seems old hat to you, putting medals around and getting congratulations. Talk about this final you had out there.
Well, I mean, when you're getting medals, it's never old hat, you know. It's always a great feeling. Coming out here, seeing everyone in the stands cheering, it's just an amazing feeling no matter how many times you do it. If I could relive it, I'd relive it every single year of my life. So it's a great feeling. You know, just going to keep going and getting to training and getting more.
Now, obviously, how's the weight difference moving up in weight for you from 106 last year to this year?
I mean, last year I wasn't really cutting much weight, and this year, you know, it's starting to feel a little bit, starting to get a little bit more tired in the matches. Starting to get used to it a little bit though. Starting to come to the end of the year, but
So what have you done to increase your endurance?
I mean, you know, just lifting more, you know, doing some sprints, running. I mean, I've been getting in condition more because of had the need to cut weight. You know, when I need to run, you know, it helps. Even though I'm kind of draining myself, it's still helping me get endurance. And you know, moving up in a weight class, I mean, it hasn't really been much of a difference, but it's moving up weight class. You know,
Now you had a great year last year. Didn't end the way you wanted to, but you come back. You were in a really tough bracket. 3 of the top 4 from Morris County wind up getting down there. What are you doing this year to be different, to finish and be number 1 on that podium?
Well, last year was definitely devastating, you know, especially losing to a kid who you know you can beat. You know, I beat Gerard. I mean, nothing to take against Gerard, but I beat him 5 times last year. And, you know, the one that counted, I didn't pull out, but you know, nothing against him. We wrestled a great match, you know, very strategic match. Great match for the both of us. We both gave it our hearts out, but I'm just gonna train like I did last year. Train even more than I do, even more than last year to get up on the podium this year. Make it out there. It was a great atmosphere, you know. And even getting down there is just a good experience for me to get used to the atmosphere, get used to being in the state finals. It was just a great experience for me. I definitely grew from it, and I'm gonna win a state title this year.
Now you bring up Gerard also and his transfer out to Bergen Catholic. Do you have any opinion or feeling on that? Are you, in a sense, relieved that you don't have to deal with that situation?
You're getting an open mic right now. Say what you feel, Pat Glory.
You know, I think it's great that Gerard transferred to BC. Not because it had anything to do with, you know, him getting out of the way, but for the fact that he's on a great wrestling team, one of the best teams, at one point the best team in the country. You know, gets to get great atmosphere, get to wrestle teams like Wyoming Seminary, Blair, all these great dual teams. He gets to go out to California and wrestle. And, you know, I think that we get a good atmosphere at Double Honor with that, too. We go to Beast, we go to Powerade. We wrestle Wyoming Seminary next week. So we wrestle Blair, who's #1 duels. So I just think it's a great experience for him. I'm really, it's a great place for him to be, I think.
And finally, we talked about this when we first came on the air. You guys clinched before the finals the MCT title, a new record. Was that something that was talked about, or was it kind of like, not to digress on it, but you won, and you have other guys who have won, but then when you see some of the 8 seeds making the finals, or guys getting those points, talk about this team as a whole, just kind of what it means to win this title.
I mean, it's great. It's a team effort, is what we talk about all the time in the room. Coach Guy and Coach Stoll, they stress it a lot. We wrestled Montville the other day, and it was a really close match. I mean, a lot closer than a lot of people expected it to be.
I know it was a lot closer than I expected it to be.
Right. So our coaches after the match, they saw a lot of things that we did wrong and we could improve upon. But that's just one of the things. They wanted us to get ready for this tournament to make history and win 9 in a row. But so
it is.
Is it 9? I thought it was 8.
I don't know.
I think it's 8.
8 in a row.
It's getting too many.
But when you got guys like Cole Crash-Payne, and you got guys like Luke Anselmi, and all these guys stepping up to the plate, AJ Lonsky, freshman, all these guys stepping up to the plate. It's a team effort, And if we didn't have those guys, there's no way we'd be here.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's not even the guys that made it to the final. It's the push that the other guys made to get you guys to succeed. I mean, you guys clinched this before the finals even started.
Yeah, Coach Guy and Coach Stoll were really happy about that. They were really, really happy with the way all of us wrestled this weekend, so which is good. Definitely an improvement upon the Montville match the other day. So they were kind of upset about that. So they seem to be a little bit more happy. But
don't take anything away from Montville. They have a great program. I mean, they definitely. I hate to say it, but they out wrestled us in that match. I was still kind of scared. Throughout the match, it looked a little skeptical for us. We had a lot of guys that we lost a lot of the toss-up matches, but we pulled through in the end. I'm really happy with my team. We're just gonna keep improving from there. It's not one person. It's an entire team. You can't just rely on one person to win for you, because in wrestling, that's not how it goes. You can have a guy in different sports that.
As a Gacy, your teammate here gets a takedown, 25 seconds.
That's a big takedown because Stanich got out earlier.
Good match right here.
I tell you, it's a great fight.
You can commentate the rest of it.
You want to commentate? But that's the one thing with those guys, especially, and winning it. I think maybe that Montville match might help you guys in the long run because it gave you a little scare. And now, as you guys are headed forward. But congratulations. Go enjoy this with your team. Pat Glory, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I've said it to other people, but I'm pretty sure I'll say it to you. We're going to see you again sometime this year.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Not to take anything away from this match, we are talking about a great match with Troy Stanich getting shoes and bottom, getting out, and winds up getting taken down by Gacy. Now, Gacy, the finalist last year at 120, a lot of people didn't realize this, and he still got a brace on, actually tore completely his ACL in one leg, and then in the match with Soriano, tore his other, and still was within a few points of Soriano.
Yeah, he had an awesome final last year.
And he got a late start this year because he was rehabbing. I don't think he was medically cleared till after the Beast or right around it because he only has 12 matches.
Yeah, he doesn't have many matches. He struggled, I think, with knee injuries throughout his career. Being a senior here this year, we wish him the best.
Yeah, he's one of those guys too. Great wrestler, great kid, family of athletes. So,
yeah, actually, his other brother Wade used to wrestle. So, and I think it's his younger brother.
I think he just got accepted to college for lacrosse.
Okay, he's an excellent lacrosse player. So, they come from a family of athletes.
And Ty actually used to play lacrosse at Del Barton until he focused his actually. Farrow used to play lacrosse too.
Really? I didn't know that.
And they were all on the lacrosse team, and then it might have been the coach pulled them out, but they played, and they said, no, we're going to focus on wrestling, and there you are.
Oh, and that's good for Stoll and Guy Russo.
It's funny because when you see how Stoll coaches, Stoll will chat with you, but he's not really one of the loud guys. But Matt's side?
I was going to say, yeah.
That side he is. And then
get into it.
Russo's very quiet and reserved, but he'll get into it if he needs to.
So we got about 45 seconds left in the third period. It's a 3-1 match. Standish is still down.
He needs to get a takedown, but
he's battling, and I know Troy for a while. I mean, I'm obviously not friends or close with him, but I've known him because it's a competitive, and the Mizuchis are friends with a lot of the Roxbury people, including Troy. And extremely hard worker, state police winner, and he's not going to give up in a match like this. Just went for the outside single. Ty just shrunk away, so looks like time with 20 seconds left. It's going to be tough to get a takedown in that position, and a stalemate is called.
You're talking about, a Gacy who 3-time medalist in Atlantic City. And that's, like you said, not taking anything away from Troy, but even if he gets hit with a stolen here, I mean, unless it's a quick call here by the referee.
And it's just a warning, and it's a deserved call. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So, and I'm surprised because Roy Dragon, he likes to hit that stall call. Probably not going to get.
Even if he does, he's not going to.
You're looking at two high caliber wrestlers that are going
yes.
at it. So I highly doubt you're looking at any true stalling. That'll end the match. I mean, a solid win by Ty Gacy. And again, this is something that you'll see these two probably go head-to-head again in Atlantic City. And now we're about to head into one of the greatest.
We're going to do one more plug. Before we get to the final, the marquee matchup, if you will. The main event, the headliner, the showstopper, the icon, the divorce attorney when I get home. DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages, physical, emotional, monetary, or to their property, will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are just not words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with the clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. And of course, we got to give one last shout out to Salerno Dwayne. Does a great job with you guys. Covers your matches. Ship it in here. Great job here. Covering this.
And it's a great family too. Both of Mike Salerno's son and daughter played sports at Mendham High School. Successful in basketball, lacrosse, football, and he's really been an asset through Mendham TV as well.
Now this is the headliner.
So we're looking at Garrett O'Shea, fourth in the state, senior at 21-0.
24-0.
Well, I'm sorry, 24-0. Came into the tournament at 21-0.
And Nick Farrow, a senior from Del Barton, 23-4. 2 state medalists a year ago here, meeting in the finals.
So this is our marquee match. It's an exciting one, and you're just going to see a battle here.
Now I may not be correct here. You guys can send me messages, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Garrett O'Shea has made the final 3 times, and Nick Farrow has made it 4.
I'm not 100% sure on that either.
Actually, I apologize. I think Nick Farrow may have made. I think it'd be 3 and 3. I think
it's 3 and 3 as well.
So quality matchup here, and it's funny because it's 2 very different styles. Whereas Garrett wants to get you down, take advantage of it. Nick is more of a shooter, release. He's not really more somebody to kind of do. You know what I mean?
Nick has an excellent high crotch also. So you'll see him try to use that on Garrett tonight as well. And Garrett's dad's the assistant coach over at Butler. So I'm sure it's pretty fun for Garrett, in his senior year to be able to, wrestle as his dad, being the coach for him.
And then Garrett also is going to be going to the Air Force.
Okay, that's a nice fit for Garrett.
He'll be there for that. And then
and a shout out to Garrett's sister. She's been working this Morris County tournament since she was in 6th grade. She's about to graduate college.
And plus, not only that, she had to sit next to me for the last, 14, 15 hours, and I'm sure that wasn't a pleasant thought. Just ask my wife. I'm really getting in trouble here. But I'm drawing a blank. I know Farrow has decided where he's going. I want to say it's Lehigh.
Okay.
I think it's Lehigh. He went to. We'll ask him when we get him over here. But I'm pretty sure. But he's also committed too. So 2 quality kids just trying to lay it out there.
So a couple more things as we're watching this Morris County final. Talking about the officiating, right? And Mark Sherman, longtime official out there. But which referee is the only one to officiate at every single Morris County tournament? See if you can guess this one, because he's obviously in the building tonight. as Nick Farrow just gets the takedown on the edge of the mat.
I'm not great with names. I'm going to point him out, and you're going to tell me if I'm right.
I might have you describe him.
Is he at the very end right there?
No, that would be Gary Kessel.
No Kessel?
It's not Kessel. Kessel's a great official.
I don't want him to. I'm not trying to age you and think you're old. To Gary, don't send me hate mail saying I think you're old.
He's standing up and walking away now. His name is Tim Wyatt.
He was my second choice.
So
he was my other choice.
Tim's been around a while. I mean, even in high school, Mark Sherman did my matches. Gary did some of my matches, and so did Timmy Wyatt. So these guys have been around for a while.
I like Tim. The problem I have, and it's no issue with Tim, is every time I have a conversation with Tim, I want to buy wings from KFC. I don't know why. Colonel Sanders a little bit there.
Colonel Sanders, everybody calls him Abe Lincoln.
That could be too. But not to take anything away, we have another champion here, Shane Metzler. Talk a little bit about Shane. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tough match.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk a little bit about it. You know, he's up. What's going through your mind as your time's ticking down?
Yeah, so, I mean, I went out there knowing that, you know, I was going to wrestle strong on my feet. You know, he was a lot stronger than I expected, so he was kind of shut down my offense for a little bit. I got in on a few shots here and there. It didn't finish. You know, when he got one, you know, I'm losing, obviously, but in my head, there wasn't an inkling of me losing at the end result of the match. You know, I wanted to win so bad. I've trained so hard for this. And I'm just so confident on my feet that instead of taking bottom, try to get one tied up, I knew I was going to take him down, even if it came down to 20 seconds left, you know. I just muscled through it, got tough, took him down, held him down for 7 seconds for the win. You know, I did what I had to do. And
that was the fight. I don't want to say fight, but more shocking thing, being down 1-0, you picking neutral.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What was going through your head there? You know, I've seen you wrestle a ton. I know you can get out from bottom. Why go neutral in that scenario versus taking bottom and tying it up?
Yeah, so I'll have to credit Jones. I mean, I went out there, and his strength, his grip strength was insane.
He defended the single leg
very
all
well.
Day.
Yeah, so, you know, and I'm good on bottom, you know. But I knew if there was some doubt in my mind that I would get out. You know, I felt like he might have got a wrist, held it tight, kind of rode me out, and maybe I would get out. But, you know, I don't want to go into overtime. I want to win, you know, in the normal match. So maybe I wouldn't have enough time to take him down if I got on my feet. So I knew if I had 2 minutes.
Another takedown by Farrow. He goes up 6-2 here with about 23 seconds left in the second. But I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I knew that if I would take him down, I was going to win the match. You know, I was going to ride him out. It was just what I wanted to do. I was going to do it. So I took neutral because I'm confident on my feet. I work with Rossi every day in the practice room. You know, in situations like that, we'll put 10, 13 seconds on the board just for a situation like that and try to take him down. And you know, that's what you got to do in the practice room so you can do it on the mat.
Excellent. Yep. So this is your first Morris County champion?
Yeah. It's
ironically, because last year you placed 4th in the state, but 3 of the top 4 guys were in your weight class, and they were in the top of the bracket, so it made it pretty tough. So what's your feeling right now?
So I'm elated. You know, I wanted this so bad. Since freshman year, I had a tough bracket my freshman year with Troy Stanich, Garrett O'Shea, and Gacy. I knew I probably wasn't going to come out with a win, but I worked hard, you know, up until this point, and here it is. You know, I'm Morris County champ, and it's exciting.
And we talked about that, you know, over in the videos and everything we do. How from your freshman year to your sophomore year, it almost seemed like something clicked with you.
Sure, yeah.
And you were doing a lot of off-season stuff. Talk about how that and the different styles helped you out here and the success you've had here.
Yeah, so, you know, after freshman year, I was 29-9, lost to Garrett O'Shea in wrestlebacks at Region 1, and I got a little tear in my eye, and I said, it's only up from here. I'm just going to work. I'm going to work so hard. And I did. You know, every day that I went to the practice room and trained, I just thought about being on that podium, and I wanted to do one thing better each day, and I did that, you know, and I've been successful lately, and I mean, the main goal is just to work harder each day, harder than the last, so that's what I've been doing, and it's been paying off.
That's an awesome attitude.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of people hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, congratulations. We've said it to a few other guys. I think we're going to be seeing more of you this season. So
for sure.
Good luck in the upcoming tournaments, and I'm sure we'll be talking in AC.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again. Shane Metzler has got injury time here. That was weird how we go right back in injury time. But Garrett also just taking a quick injury time here, down 6-2 with
I think
44 seconds
left on the clock. So why don't I a couple more questions since we got them through.
Shoot me some questions.
Who do you think was the first individual Morris County Wrestling Tournament champion?
The very first?
Very first. You got some near and dear questions coming at you now. If that's a hint.
Wow. Well, you said you're not Passaic, so it can't be that near and dear.
Oh, it's near and dear.
What? Brett Raimondo?
Brett Raimondo was the first at 101
You gave
pounds.
it up to me. Come on.
Come on. So Brett Raimondo,
it wasn't you.
Former head coach at Mendham High School for 7 years, and I took over for him, and now he's back as an assistant for the last 3 years. Couldn't be more pleasure to have him on staff.
I was going to say it wasn't Coach Bullis because I was.
No, Coach Bullis is from up in the Finger Lakes, up in New York. So
he was my old coach too.
Yep, he played football for him.
Yep, freshman football.
What's that?
15 seconds left. Nick Farrow looks like he's going to take it here.
And so that looks like Nick Farrow, the second seed, comes up and beats Garrett O'Shea in the finals 6-2 in fairly dominant fashion. So congratulations, Nick. That's a well-deserved gold medal for him.
Now is this Nick? I'm going to have to ask Nick when he comes over. This might be his first. I don't think did he win it last year?
Yeah, him and Cephalo were in different weight classes last year, and I believe he won his first one.
He did win it at 132, so last year was his first one.
Yeah, so he's a two-timer. And the last question I got for you, well, I could give you a couple more, but who's the first school to ever win the Morris County Championship? And it's the only time they ever won it.
Madison.
Nope. It's near and dear.
Mendham?
Mendham High School. Oh. Under Coach Bullis' tutelage, who was one of the first coaches to ever. He was one of the founding fathers of this tournament.
Take your seats, families. 132.
So as you can see, the lights are back on.
Lean and Mean. Wrestle Lean and Mean Optimal Health Program. Comprehensive nutrition program for athletes with easy-to-follow meal plans. Burn fat, retain muscle. Medically sound and NJSA approved. What does your weight management program look like? Wrestle Mean and Lean. Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic and freestyle. Just like finalists Dean and Luke Drugak, Impact Glory. In addition to wrestling, full-weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle, now the only home in New Jersey for Zach Ray. And DeSeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeSeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with our clients. DeSeo Law. With us, it's personal. And
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group, Denville, Newton, Summit, Randolph, and East Brunswick. It is covered by the Salerno Dwayne warranty. www.salernodwayne.com.
Just so you know, Coach LePaglia is texting me now. He's saying, can I get a plug? You got your plug. I hope you're happy. Don't give me any WTFs anymore. You're going to get me in trouble.
Coach LePaglia, stop texting me at 1:30 in the morning and tell me how great WWE Network is. I understand. I own it. Thank you.
I don't know if you own it, but
I own.
You have
a
subscription to it.
I own part. I mean, I already subscribed. I'm good. We are going to get Taya Gacy. We are going to get Nick Farrow. We are going to get Brian Stoll. We are going to get the rest of the crew.
Coach Merrill? Coach Merrill could always come on, Mike, if he'd like. Coach Merrill over for me. Coach Merrill, come on.
right, we were looking for Taya Gacy. I'm sure we will find him in a minute, but great tournament. Obviously, Del Barton cruises, no doubt, to the title.
And I'll be back in one moment. I just have to hand in the most outstanding wrestler ballot.
You want to give a hint?
Who I voted for? No.
Okay.
But we had a lot of great matches here today, and whoever gets it's definitely going to be deserving of getting it.
Definitely. I mean, we're gonna get Nick over here. We're gonna, as you hear them announcing who the team scores. I mean, this is a no-brainer. We're gonna have Coach Baig get Taya Gacy if possible. And then, as you see, they're announcing Del Barton.
Oh, they're gonna have the whole team out there.
When that's over, we're gonna get the three guys we want: Taya Gacy, Nick Farrow, and Brian Stoll. Go get your plaques. Grab your plaques. You, Farrow, and Stoll come over. I want to do that for you. As you see, they're presenting Del Barton with the team trophy. The record-breaking 8th. I'm going to say 8th. I don't know, maybe. Got the, we got to. Once again, a great tournament. I see Del Barton here in the middle of the mat getting presented with the trophies.
Mendham trivia night from La Paglia. Hopefully, maybe we'll be saying welcome back.
Or maybe we'll be saying, as he gives me his reviews of WWE commentary and TV, he goes, "Oh, did you watch this show? Did you watch this show? Did you watch this show?" Welcome in, welcome in. Speaking of one of your former sisters, let's talk about one of the currents. Let's get him on the headset.
Nah, Doug, you don't want to come on the headset, but he
don't want to come on the headset.
He's been a very good asset to us these last couple of years. So it's great having him in the room. Hopefully we'll be down in Atlantic City again. That's always a good time as well. As long as there's no WGT.
WGW.
Oh, WGW. I apologize. Not very good with those acronyms.
Not at all, but it's okay.
So it looks like Del, obviously they won.
Hey, look, everybody's taking pictures. They're loving taking pictures. I mean, if they don't have one parent who could take one and just email everybody. Like, I don't understand. Like 95. Like they can have one person take a nice picture and just email.
That was a pretty good point. They do go to Del Barton and pay plenty of money, so maybe they just can't afford it.
Like it's like I don't understand. All right, now the big question: who do we think? Who do we think is going to be the OW?
Honestly, deservingly so. There's a few in the mix. You had Dean Drugak.
Oh yeah.
He pinned Pat Daly. That doesn't happen too often. To Pat at least. And I've known Pat for years. I remember when he was born, his dad used to train me over at Nautilus in Pompton Lakes, and then over at Wrestling Plus. That's in the mix. You obviously had our feature bout, O'Shea versus Nick Farrow. The winner of that could definitely be in the mix. And then a Gacy Stanich, I think Taya Gacy would be in the mix as well. And I can go on and on and on. Metzler Jones is another one where you got to give Metzler credit, and he's probably put on a bunch of lists. So I don't know. It's open. It's going to be interesting to see who does get the nod here.
as they're leading it, running off the names of the winners. They're going to get a team picture here of the winners, the champions.
And I guess, as Coach LaPaglia put it, I guess I'll give one more trivia for the night, but it won't be all Mendham this time. What present Morris County school no longer has a wrestling team as a sport, or no longer has a wrestling program?
I actually heard this question answered before, so I'm going to say Morris Tech.
Not Morris Tech. It's no, I just blanked out on the name. Oh shit! Just lost it. Morris? No. Private school.
Morristown Beard.
Yeah, Morristown Beard.
And it's actually a great segue. We're talking about private schools. We have the coach of the champion private school, Brian Stoll. Talk a little bit about this win, record-setting win, and a great job by a lot of unheralded kids. You seem to have that. Ability recently with Jake last year. AJ this year. Just talk about that and those guys.
Yeah, it's it's great about a tournament like this is it's going to take a team effort. You can't win this tournament with 4 guys or 5 guys. You need every guy that you brought in. We brought 11 guys or 12 guys into the tournament, and all of them scored points for us. So, although the final score doesn't indicate it, we did need all those points at the beginning. They were all very important to us. So it was fun, man. As a wrestling fan,
Kugak just got announced as
outstanding wrestler.
Outstanding wrestler of the tournament.
Yep. So as a wrestling fan, all growing up and then getting into coaching, to think about how many kids have wrestled in this tournament and how many of legendary coaches have coached in this tournament and are still coaching in this tournament. Guys that are like Mike Sook and Larry Rizzo and the young
Baig
up-and-coming guys. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that.
Jim Dolan, forget it. I mean, that's what makes me so proud, I guess, is the fact that, Morris County is so rich in tradition. And for us to be able to break a record in a place that's so rich in tradition is awesome. And it's really a testament to, of course, the kids on this team, but the kids on this team aren't who they are unless those kids who started it, from Mike Gray getting inducted into the Hall of Fame today, and Antonio Mangione, and they kind of built this thing and this energy that, these other kids just kind of gravitate towards it, and it continues even after they're long gone. It continues in the room. So Mike Gray, although he doesn't work with these guys, is part of the reason why they're
he's left his legacy.
Exactly.
It's kind of like what Ryan Harrington's done with us and why we've sent kids to Atlantic City over the last 5 years.
Exactly. You
not as successful as you guys, but in the same capacity.
The work ethic doesn't leave the room once the guy does, because he passes it down and then he passes it down to the next guy. So I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Those Jefferson teams and Sook and those Randolph teams, and to be able to even have our program mentioned with those programs. It's just it's an incredible feeling. It's something I'm sure down the road I'll even appreciate more, to think that we've accomplished this. I mean, I would never in a million years thought when I took the job initially that we would become the program that we have, and it's because we have such great kids.
Well, unlike last year, it was you and Hanover Park were still battling to win this tournament last year in the finals.
Yep.
This year you had it locked before the finals even started.
Yeah.
What was the difference in how you felt emotionally in those two scenarios? Did you were able to be a little more lax?
Yeah, I can enjoy it a little more, but we had 8 guys in the finals, and every single one of those matches are rips at your gut. Every loss is that's coming to a tournament like this, and then ultimately Atlantic City, it's like a roller coaster ride, because not everybody's going to get what they want, and everyone hurts me the same way, So it's a different feeling in terms of not having to worry about the team title, but it's still the same gut wrenching feeling of having to hoping our kids can accomplish what they want to accomplish.
Now, you talked about that, and getting everybody down. you had a little bit of a scare Wednesday. Close match against a tough Montville team. What did you do to get these kids focused? Because you guys, I don't want to say you guys haven't been tested like that, but especially somebody local, just to kind of get tested like that and be that close. What did you do in the last couple of days to get these kids focused heading into this tournament?
I mean, was that your motivation?
Yeah, well, I just think it was all like we kind of had a little bit of a softer schedule last week. We had we went through the ringer at the beginning of the year. We wrestled, a bunch of nationally ranked teams and 2 national level tournaments. So, then we kind of had a soft week. And then we were coming into Montville, and I knew that it was going to be very competitive, obviously. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be quite as competitive, but I knew, I've been following them all year, and they have a tremendous team this year. I mean, they're going to be a very dangerous team come sectionals, and I knew that. And it wasn't, some people say, oh, did you guys really squeak that out? They look at the final score. I'm like, we won an overtime bout and a 1-0 bout against them. So either of those go the other way. And it was just a tremendous dual meet. Now that they're such a good team, but that kind of opened our kids' eyes. They're like, wait, because since we've wrestled so much out of state and out of area kids, they not that they forget, but it's not in their mind that these Morris County kids are still really tough, and it was good for them to get that wake-up call that, hey, no one's going to roll over for you here, and you're going to have to put the effort in if you're going to want to place in this tournament. And we won a tremendous amount of close matches in this tournament. And that's the, when I
us last night.
Yeah, when you look at the tournament. You say how you do. Yeah, we put up all these points, and we had 4 champs and 8 in the finals. But that's not how I judge it by. Did we win the matches that we maybe could have lost, and did we lose the matches that we maybe could have won? That's how you judge how prepared you are as a team. With Ty and Nick and Pat. I mean, you expect those kids to win. Not to say that they didn't have great competition, but it's the other kids winning that 1-point match or getting one at the buzzer, and we had a great tournament.
Yeah, and you had a kid like Lonsky.
Yeah, AJ. He had a great match in the semifinals with the kid from Roxbury, Rumes. And that was one of those matches where you pull it out in the end, and you're happy with how things go when you win those. And we lost a couple of those, and we certainly have things to work on moving into the final push. Sections obviously, but more importantly, districts, regions, and states.
I was just about to say, we've talked about how you said the individual stuff helps with the team, and you're in a brutal section. So it's a very tough section.
Listen, I just hope we get those matches. We'd love to wrestle Burton Catholic just because they're the team that we want to that we want to compete against, and we have so many great individual matchups. It'll be a tough, for 14 weights, they're pretty tough, But we wrestled Blair Academy, we wrestled Clovis, California, we wrestled Lake Highland Prep, Florida. We're not scared of anybody.
You got a pretty souped up schedule.
Yeah, a little too much this year, maybe. But the kids have survived so far, and they're wrestling well right now. So.
Yeah, and it battle hardens your kids too, and it prepares them for the long run, which is the most important thing, which is our individual state tournaments.
Exactly.
Well, good luck in those tournaments, and I'm sure we'll see you, and we'll be seeing you.
I gotta ask one more question.
Are you talking about the hair or the beard?
No, well, I got the beard going too, but
the hair.
So, is this like a Samson thing? Like,
no, I don't.
You were going for the record breaker.
The kids, I don't know. The kids really want me to cut it, so it's
you can't cut it now.
They're gonna have to accomplish something big in order for them.
Bergen Catholic.
That's a pretty heavy task, but we'll certainly be ready to step in there and throw down. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Brian. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Awesome job, fellas.
All right. Thanks.
We're gonna get Ty Gacy over here, another champion. Talk a little bit. We're also going to get Nick Farrow, the only 2 champions we haven't talked to tonight. Once again, I want to say I don't want to say anticlimactic with how everything went with the finals as far as team scores go. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of expected it to be closer. It was kind of like it was already sewn up, so you kind of enjoy but celebrate as Ty Gacy throws the headsets on.
You know what? I didn't catch who came in second place. Montville must have. So, second place, they did a great job. And I want to give a shout out to Coach Kripp. Unfortunately, this morning he got to the high school. He got very sick, and he wasn't able to be here today. And this is probably the highest finish of Montville
in a while.
has had They had 3 champs, which they've never had before. Probably the highest finish in a while or ever, being second in the county. And unfortunately, he's put in about 20 years of experience of coaching with that program. And so I just want to give a shout out to him. And he's done a great job.
Somebody
with his
that
program.
did show up today.
So we'll get to
Ty
that.
Gacy, the champion. Just talk a little bit about. I know we've covered your career. You've had success here before. Now with what happened to you last year and the injuries. Talk a little bit about the journey to this point from the end of last year. Just talk a little about how you got here.
Yeah, definitely was devastating to hear the news of the injury last year after the state finals. So it wasn't a typical off season. Had 2 surgeries, had to do a lot of physical therapy, so I wasn't really able to wrestle as much. So I had to just focus on getting strong, getting healthy. But I put in a lot of work there and got to the point where I was comfortable wrestling, and then from there I just took off working hard every day. And I'm comfortable where I'm at. Goal is to be a state champion. I think this tournament was a good time for me to see where I'm at on my journey to my goal.
Yeah, you did it. You did a great job in the tournament today. Being a senior and everything, and you've been obviously, how many? I think you placed in the state 3 other times, right? You've placed every year?
Yeah, I placed every year.
Yeah, so you placed every year. So what does it look like for next year? Where are you going to go to school? Where are the offers coming from?
I committed to Princeton.
You committed Princeton pretty early, 10th?
Yeah, so it was the summer before my junior year, so last summer I committed. So that was always a dream of mine to go there, so wrestling, it really helped me be able to accomplish my dream.
Kind of gets that off your mind too.
Yeah.
You have to think about that moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
One of our wrestlers, Sam Button's wrestling for Princeton also, so it'll be pretty cool.
Do you feel from your hitting where your stride at? Because do you feel you're back to where you were before the injury, or are you kind of getting there?
To be honest, I think I've progressed from where I am from the injury. I think my athleticism is a lot better than it was last year. I'm able to move a lot better than I was last year. I was a little limited. But I think now that I have healthy knees, I think my overall athleticism has improved, and that's helped me become a better wrestler. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy, feeling strong.
No, I think you answered all our questions, except how's your brother Wade doing?
He's doing well.
He committed to? We were talking about this. We couldn't remember where he said he was.
He committed to Manhattan College for lacrosse.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So he didn't no more wrestling then, huh?
Well, he has been wrestling this year.
He has been on the team?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He wrestled a couple matches. He got hurt, so he missed. I think he missed our match.
Missed our match, yeah.
But yeah, he's not really a wrestler, but he does it to get in shape and prepare himself for lacrosse. So, congrats to him for committing. He's doing great.
Well, congrats to you too. Another MCT, and we expect big things from you. And like we said, if your history is any indication, you're going to be high on that podium coming Atlantic City. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, Ty. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Talk a little bit about your win. We would have had John earlier, but we had technical issues. But we get to you. We don't want you to think we forgot about you.
Especially after winning your first MCT. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, it was good. He had a strong defense. I think what really made the match was my counter shots or my defense to his shots. So I kind of used my hips to really use that to my advantage and score. That takedown really kind of made the match, set the pace for it.
So, nice. What are your plans next year also for college?
I'm going to go to Columbia and wrestle.
And wrestle there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So another Ivy League school, Ty's going over to Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ironic because I was just saying Sam Button, who's a sophomore there this year, is at Princeton. And another one of our wrestlers who's a junior over at Columbia now, and Vince Pallone.
Yep.
So, Vinny
Yeah.
then. All right, cool. And he just wrestled at Midland. So they have a nice, strong team. So it'll be nice for you to wrestle there.
Yeah.
Now, what were you looking for when you went out there, getting out there and being a number 1 seed, just kind of what you were looking for in your opponent? Have you wrestled him before? And just kind of, did you, we don't say scout, but did you watch any of the matches previously going in, or did you just kind of say, hey, I'm going to do my thing and it goes where it goes?
So I saw like a few little snippets of him wrestle, but really out on the mat, I took like the first 30 seconds to kind of feel him out, see where he's really strong. He was strong, he had a good tie-up. But I know he wanted some space to shoot, so I kind of took that away from him, kind of tied up with him, tied his arms up. Didn't give him really the opportunity to score. So that's kind of how I went into the match thinking.
Guys, we've talked a lot of Del Bard wrestlers today, and your coach.
Obviously.
Now, you guys worked really hard. You had a little bit of a scare Wednesday. Coming into this tournament, some of the younger guys step in, advance the finals, fill those roles. Talk about this squad, because, you started out as one of the, I like to call it the three-headed monster. It was you, Gacy, and Farrell. And you were all in a similar weight. You kind of came in. What are you guys doing now that those seniors taught you to pass it along to the younger, to keep this going? Because you don't want to break the streak. What are you doing to keep those younger guys going?
So I think it's just like the attitude of the seniors. They kind of have like this confidence going in. And I think that really rubs off on like the freshmen. Like we saw AJ Longsky make it to the finals as an underdog. That was really big. And I think that rubs off on the younger guys. Like I think Pat would make a great captain in the coming years, LJ. So I think the type of camaraderie that we have really spreads throughout the years, which is what I learned from the seniors when I was a freshman.
Yeah. No, you're just a solid top-to-bottom team, and I just want to wish you good luck as you move forward in the sections, the districts, and obviously through the regions and states.
Like I said, I think this won't be the last time this year. We're talking about a lot of championship hardware going to Del Barton.
No, anytime we sit one of them down, we know.
Congratulations.
We know where you're going, so thanks.
You got Nick Farrow, the headliner.
Hey, Nick, congratulations.
Congratulations, Nick.
So it's nice we get to talk to you 2 years in a row now. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about, going out there. You're one of the few wrestlers, I think, that thrives under that light. And you seem to eat it up. Just when you found out you guys were the headliner, and you talk about Garrett, he's a tough kid. What did that mean for you motivation-wise going out there?
I wanted to send a message to him and the whole state that, like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy to beat, and when the lights are shining, I'm gonna wrestle, and I'm gonna wrestle hard, and I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna score. So.
No, that's great. I thought you had a great match against Garrett. He was fourth in the state. Did you have anything that you looked at in that match, like, I got to change my style, I got to do something different because of the caliber of kid? Obviously, you were the premier match tonight. We intentionally set it up that way. We knew two state, place winners were going at it. So,
I don't want to change me. I knew he had a pretty good single that I tried to stay away from, but I still had to get to my attacks, and I think I did that well. One thing I need to work on is I got to score in the third. I pick neutral and I don't score, so that's something that needs to be fixed. I either got to go down and get out, or I got to score. So that he's really good, but that's a match I can make the difference 8 points. So
now you've been down the lane, so it hasn't ended the way you want it. You obviously want to be higher on the podium. What are you doing this offseason, your final campaign, just kind of getting out there? You said scoring in the third. Is there anything else you're trying to get going on to get higher on that podium?
Every match I've lost at the States, I didn't score first. So that's something I've been really working on, and getting, once the whistle blows, first 30 seconds, I want to score and get to a leg right away and set the pace. So one other thing is I've been working on my defense. So I feel going into the match that I can not let the guy score. And if I don't get scored on, it's really hard to lose. So that's something that I've been working on. So just keep building and keep working.
And we were talking about this before. You've committed to college. Where are you going next year?
Lehigh.
I knew it.
Just wanted to make sure.
But
your whole senior class is they're all going to excellent schools in wrestling. So it's really good to see that, not just in the state, but in our county particularly. We want to thrive, and you guys are setting a great tone for that.
And we talked a little bit, finally, we talked a little bit to Val about this, and, you came in the same year. Talk a little bit about the extended run Del Barton's had. You were a freshman, and you had those Nick Andersons, the Inarellas, those guys who taught you the way, the Joseph Johnsons. What are you doing to pass that along so when you guys leave, you can look back a couple years and see the team still thriving?
It's just like the atmosphere of the team. We're more of a team now than we've ever been, I feel. So it's me, Ty, Val. We're all the guys that got to lead that and continue that for next year. So I think just doing what we do all the time is just being friends to everybody, and then in the room, we got to wrestle hard and make everybody better. So I think that's all we really do and all we try to focus on.
Last question. I guess last year you weren't exactly at the weight class you wanted to be coming into this tournament, and I know that kind of probably that bothered you a little bit. This year coming in, you're at the weight you wanted to be and everything. Did you feel more relaxed and confident going through the tournament this year?
A little bit.
I don't know about relaxed because you can't really be relaxing.
Last year, I had nothing to lose. I mean, I'm up a weight class, but now I feel like this is my weight. Last year, was my weight anyway. So I don't really care. I feel like I can beat anybody in the state at any weight. So relaxed, I guess, but making weight was easier now. So.
All right, cool.
Well, congratulations. And actually, it's funny on a side note, the very first interview I did for the site was Nick Farrell at a Mendham match.
I still watch that sometimes.
It's funny watching you and Ty, who would never look at the camera. Ty, you were just straight looking at Ty's like,
yeah.
So it's very, very easy. I just want to say congratulations. I'm sure we'll be seeing you.
Awesome job, Nick. Congratulations.
Congratulations again. Nick Farrell, the champion in the headliner match, the icon, the main eventer. But I mean, you know, I don't know what else is left to be said.
There's nothing left. I think it was another great year, another great tournament, and hopefully we'll be continuing this in the future. I'd like to thank Doug Black for all the work and everything he did today.
Yeah, it was
I'd like
great.
to thank your wife.
For harassing me with text messages.
Yeah, even though it's going to be thankless when you go home.
Oh, I'm just telling you right now, there's going to be some purses bought. There's going to be some dinners out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some melting pot visits. And I'm pretty sure there will be some Saturday nights in Atlantic City, especially state weekend. So that will be that. But just real quick before we go, let's give the top 3 team scores if we can. Just we obviously Del Barton won.
I don't have the top 3, but I believe the top 3.
I think it was Del Barton, Montville, Roxbury.
Yep, Del Barton, Montville, Roxbury.
But congratulations to Del Barton. They did a great job, you know. And for anybody who wants to say anything about Del Barton, it's not the big kids. It's kids you never expected to do anything who wind up coming in and doing something. So, you know, congratulations to them and Stoll and the great job they do here. And congratulations to everybody. You know, good job here to Mount Olive.
Thank you, Mount Olive.
Mount Olive does a great job with this tournament.
And they give you a great spread to the coaches. So
as their head coach is giving us the dirty eye because he wants to get out of here and go home because I'm sure it's pretty long. But
all right, well, this
we'll
is
see you
Steve
next
Baig
year.
Signing off for
Donald J. Brower, Stephen Baig, Coach Smith. Wave.
All right, signing off for Morris County HS Wrestling. Thanks a lot.
See you then.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Wrestle Lean and Mean Optimal Health Program, comprehensive nutrition program for athletes with easy-to-follow meal plans. Burn fat and retain muscle. Medically sound and JSA approved. What does your weight management program look like? Wrestle Mean and Lean. Pinnacle Athletic Training, located at 915 Edwards Road in Parsippany. Pinnacle focuses on producing Olympic-level athletes and champion wrestlers in scholastic and freestyle, just like finalists Dean and Luke Drugak and Pat Glory. In addition to wrestling, full weight training is available. For complete wrestling and strength training with world-class coaches, you can contact at pinnacleathletic.com. Technique, strength, conditioning, all in one place. Pinnacle, now the only home in New Jersey for Zach Ray. DeZeo Law, conveniently located in Parsippany. The firm's mission is to provide clients with the highest level of professional assistance. Anyone who faces damages will find a legal representative who will ensure that their rights are protected. These are not just words, but the values that drive the attorneys, paralegals, and other professionals at the firm, including former Montville wrestler Anthony DeZeo. They believe in being prepared, working hard, staying focused, and maintaining close relationships with our clients. DeZeo Law. With us, it's personal. And
Salerno Dwayne Auto Group, Denville, Newton, Summit, Randolph, and East Brunswick. It is covered by the Salerno Dwayne warranty. www.salernodwayne.com